All right, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world, whatever time it is, welcome here. We're going to be getting started with some more Warhammer World Championship action. Yes, that's right. We're going to start today with Group 6, or sorry, Group 8, since I didn't get to any of their replays last time. Wanted to take a look at some of them. So today we've got Mantu versus Sans. Sans here playing the Wood Elves. We've got Mantu playing the Dwarves. Let's get to the builds. Welcome. Thank you all so much for being here. Glad to be here with you all today. Welcome, Contrarian Codex, others. Those of you watching live, those of you watching after the fact, welcome one and all. Yeah, immediately we've got some War Dancers in their missile resistance stance as they approach, which does cost them some melee defense, but as long as you switch it off before they get close, actually is a pretty underrated tech, to be honest. Probably a little bit underutilized. Spellweaver of Beasts as well. We've got some Dryads and a big surround. Wildwood Rangers, Hagbane Tips, Waystalker out there in the distance. More Wildwood Rangers around quite far distance, given that it is Vanguard, so it'll take them a while to approach this Dwarven formation. And there are a lot of missiles, so the War Dancers, we'll see if that volume of fire is able to just penetrate through the missile resistance that they do have. But Bugman's Rangers, Corlers, both nice choices here, being shielded. The Bugmans, especially with their replenishment, are a great choice in a shootout against, bows and other small arms fire type units. Got some bolt throwers, miners as well. Lots of miners, some with blasting charges, and then that's basically it. Malachi leading the way. Very interesting choice. Love to see it. Has nice missile damage. Slayer, obviously unbreakable. Gods of the Lies of Grugni aura as well. And then Garagrim Iron Fist, but really nasty. Arrows of Kurnus from the side there. That Waystalker already in a good position to use it with that Vanguard. Yes. Hey, Contrarian Codex. Next beer's on me, brother. Thanks for the effort. I appreciate your effort, and I will certainly crack open a cold one just for you, good sir. Absolutely. Yeah, it's been fun, honestly. It's been fun. Prize pool is up to 800, which I will be posting the link in the chat, and I was going to put it in the description, but I actually completely forgot because I was so excited to get to these awesome battles. But yes, I have a link to the prize pool if you guys want to donate directly there. Yeah, that money goes all 100% directly to the prize pool. If you donate through YouTube, obviously this one, Contrarians, through YouTube it goes through my own ad revenue. So, given that what I've been making from YouTube, unfortunately, hasn't been much over the past little while. Mostly just doing it for the love of the game, as always. To be honest, never really wanted to. Well, maybe at one point I wanted to make this my full-time job, but realized what it would take and what it would mean, and honestly I just wanted to keep this as a passion rather than something that fills my daily bread needs. So yeah, but anyway, all that to say, yeah, just doing it for the love of the game. If you want to contribute to the prize pool, 100% of the money on the pool goes to the players. And actually I can just, as these guys are approaching here, go ahead and post there as well. Have the means to donate, and this is basically, for me, I'm going to put in some of my own money because this is, for me, kind of appreciating the players, right? Like, people who submit replays, the people who are playing and competing, they're the ones that enabled me to do this channel, right? Because I don't have the time and the energy necessarily to play as much as I used to. Certainly do enjoy from time to time, especially when there's new DLC coming out and there's content to explore. But, these guys who are out here competing, they're giving me replays. They're the reason this channel exists, largely. So I gotta appreciate them, and the prize pool is a way for me to appreciate whoever wins, right? Obviously, it doesn't get split between everyone who sends me replays, but the best of the best will come through, and just a way to award the community in general, and generate interest and motivate people to play and compete. And yeah, I really appreciate all the opportunities it's given me over time, as the opportunity for the Dwarves is get surrounded here. Wood Elf player, Sans, being incredibly patient, coming in. See if he remembers to deactivate that melee defense debuff, as the missile resistance isn't going to matter as much. Granted, Dwarf Warriors have pretty poor melee attacks, so The lower melee defense actually isn't as big of an issue, but yeah, War Dancers do get blasted by some charges there, coming to make contact. Relatively expensive units, just be losing out, but they actually, even with that melee defense, oh yeah, looks like the stance did turn off, okay. So right as they make contact, that turn off that stance. Honestly, pretty good tech from the dwarves. You rarely see that actually used to perfect effect, and this is definitely a matchup where, since you're not going to be threatened by mobility, you really have the time to get that timing right, although still quite impressive given that he's basically bringing all the units. All the Wood Elves units are being brought at the same time. But the Wildwood Rangers, unfortunately, this unit just gets absolutely blasted. I mean, the Bugman's Rangers definitely not going quietly. Along with the Quarrelers, they're able to get through and get some damage on some high-value units for the Wood Elves, and the Kiting as well, just kind of continuing to pull away, continuing to pull those Wildwood Rangers out into space, not allow them to generate any value. Yeah, the Wood Elves' approach was very nice. They're able to collapse this flank pretty effectively, get a number of units down, including some Bugmans and some Quarrelers, but center of the Dwarves is holding out quite nicely. Garagrim also completely untouched at this point. It's going to be a big problem in the late game, potentially. But Bugman's Rangers there getting hit by another Arrows of Kurnos, I believe. Both Waystalkers. Yeah, we've got two still there. The other Waystalker, not sure where he got off to. Is there another Waystalker? Who knows? Maybe he's stalking me, honestly. But, yeah, we've also got the Spellweaver of Beasts here, just dropping Amber Spear. Okay, maybe that was actually the Amber Spear. Okay, no, there's the other Waystalker. They're really just looking to get that magic missile, right down the flank of an infantry line, generating some really nice value. Interesting choice, for sure. A lot of people end up going, kind of buffs and debuffs against dwarfs because the magic damage isn't as efficient, but with something that high damage, when it just hits the unit model and explodes them, and they can't come back from that. There's no amount of magic resistance that will help if the damage is high enough. So, all that being said, dwarfs are pretty well scattered right now. Wildwood Rangers have been able to engage. Even Garagrim now taking some damage. If he gets surrounded by War Dancers, honestly, they have the anti-infantry damage to definitely take him out. No armor on him or on Malachi, which is pretty Chad, honestly, but at the same time, does mean they can get circle beaten by anti-infantry. And yep, looks like Garagrim is going to get surrounded. He himself is sort of the anti-infantry slayer hero, right? So he can cut through definitely quite a bit of them. It'll be a pretty bloody fight, but not going to be super cost-effective for Garagrim. War Dancers here also don't have any armor, but yeah, units kind of just designed to kill each other, honestly, which is what we love to see. Wildwood Rangers also getting screened out by these Dwarf Warriors. There'll be a noble sacrifice, perhaps, for these Bugman's Rangers to get off a few more volleys. Nope. Oh. Interesting. Victory for the Dwarves? Hang on. Something desync here. That didn't seem right. I believe these are all from the correct patch. Hang on just a second. That's a little bit strange. Was the victory tickets counting up for the dwarfs? I just didn't even notice. Very strange. See. Go back to the instant replay. No, it wasn't close on victory tickets. Yeah. Strange. What else were definitely ahead there? I don't know. Huh. Let me just double check that I am on the right game version here. Yeah, just... Go. Screen blocker up real... This one, here we go. Let me... Sure. That was a little odd, but... That was a very odd was in Okay, odd. Very odd. Maybe we'll go on to the next replay and see. That was just the play itself that was distinct, but pretty sure these are all, because the hotfix just came out a couple of days ago, and I rolled back to the last patch, so it should all be on the right game version. But anyway, let's check in now. Sans is going to go to the Empire. The Mantu on Dark Elves. See if they can do it. Yes, hello Shidoku. Good to see you. Yeah. Gonna check out this Empire replay now and see if this is correct, or if this set of replays is desynced for some reason. I was hoping that it would be a nice series. Honestly, I wanted to check out these two players because I haven't really seen them play much before, and yeah, haven't shown as much of this group as I probably should have, to be honest, but that's okay. Love to see me some Pistoliers. This is actually one of the few matchups right now where I unironically think you probably should take some Pistoliers. Nice to see them here. We've got a Steam Tank, Jade Wizard, Spearman with shields, and Knights of the Blazing Sun protecting the flanks. Sunmaker makes this a fun build for sure. It's decent if it can get its ammo on high-value targets. It doesn't have a lot of targets to hit here, which is kind of nice. A little spread shot situation, but Rathy's going to try and snipe the healer here. Dump some Doom Bolts. Wand of Caradran is going to do some solid damage to the Jade Wizard, but he only has 2 charges on that, and the 2 charges are not going to be enough to kill the Jade Wizard, so he'll be able to do some damage to him, but not enough to meaningfully affect the game. On the other hand, Marathi gets blasted by Pistoliers, an interaction I know very well. One of the reasons why Pistoliers pretty good here. Just, you know, Dark Elves, because of their short range, the Pistoliers' own relatively short range isn't that big of an issue. They have relatively low HP, so they're limited ammo, and high DPS is actually a good thing. So, yeah, when do I play? Oh, when is Codex playing? Oh, yeah, the playoffs are ongoing. We'll get to that in a moment, but I wanted to show some of these round 6 games. And yeah, for the Dark Elves, it is Marathi, a bunch of Militia Infantry, Cold One Spear Knights. Well, yeah, they're all Spear Knights, but the Cold One Spear Riders, basically for Dark Elves, which are Cold One Knights. They're quite good in this matchup now after some buffs. Actually trade pretty well with Empire Cavalry, so it can definitely be a bit of a problem here. We've also got some Repeater Crossbows as well, for some nice armor piercing. But right now, they're in a skirmish fight, which is not something they're good at. They're one of the few skirmish cavalry that can't even fire while moving forward, to be honest, let alone shoot 360. Well, not great for them. Rathy's taking some damage as well, but nothing she can't heal back with some Soul Stealer. Rockets finally opening fire. So far, haven't used any of their ammunition. Granted, Hellstorms can dump their ammo super fast, so I guess just wanting to save it till they get a little bit closer on that spread shot. Still not wildly effective on a relatively cheap spear. Knights of the Blazing Sun are going to face some armor-piercing missiles as the Repeater Crossbows move in. Master Engineer also has taken some shots. Haven't really done anything wildly impactful, but yeah, Pistoliers getting some nice volleys here on these Repeater Crossbows. Have a little bit of a high ground advantage on their current position. Knights of the Blazing Sun also pushing over to push them away. Got to be careful not to get caught in a trap, though. Old One Knights looming nearby. Empire having to play kind of defensively here. Sunmaker has used half of its ammunition and probably only generated a tiny amount of value, given it's shooting really low value infantry. Yeah. So far, definitely not worth it. I almost think you should just dump it into the Cold One Knights, given they're kind of the most expensive thing on the field. Pretty wide army for the Dark Elves, which is probably the right call. But Empire Knights being thrown in here, Repeater Crossbows. not get the retreat order, so they are going to get hammered there by the heavy cavalry of the Empire. Pistoliers also backing them up, so really nice damage on those repeater crossbows. Marathi dives down to combat the steam tank and melee, but that Master Engineer, he's got that grenade launcher, which he can turn and shoot 360, basically. And let's see if he can fire in melee. He should be able to get some shots. But, ooh, yeah, should hit directly on Marathi, so it's not a pushover in melee by any means, even though his melee stats individually might not suggest it. But, yeah, the Cold One Knights in support will be some nice tech here. Empire, again, using the Sunmaker probably on the wrong targets, just purely from a value standpoint. Some Cold One Knights also being led away by Pistoliers. Pretty nice value for the Pistoliers. They're able to kind of kite, skirmish, get some shots, and more importantly, just not have the Cold One Knights be here during the important part of the battle. Ooh, nice little miscast on the Jade Wizard as he tries desperately to heal the Master Engineer. Got beat up pretty badly there pretty quickly, but nothing, some healing can't assuage. Little pigeon bombs as well to take out those Cold One Knights. Very nice damage. And Cold One Knights getting flanked by Pistoliers, taken out by Empire Knights. Murderous Prowess kicks up. Should be a nice power spike for the Dark Elves. Last Spear Defenders thrown in here to protect what's left of the... ooh, they're going to get some rockets in their back for their troubles. As the Sunmaker uses the last of his ammunition. Little Melkos Mystifying Miasma on the Empire Knights does mean potentially less Soul Stealers for Marathi, but Master Engineer just barely hanging on. And yeah, looks like the Doom Bolt is going to try and finish him off. A little bit of Earth Blood right on time. Oh, not enough to keep him alive, though. Wow, that Doom Bolt comes in and just finishes off the tank straight through the hatch. And that's a massive loss for the Empire. You can see balance power tilting heavily against Sands. So I'm assuming what happened is that first battle was more or less correct, except the person who conceded was registered wrong for some reason in the replay, and that Sands actually just won that. Because, yeah, this one then makes sense as, like, the rebound for Man 2. Make the series 1-1. So, yeah, nice performance from Sands. I like the build. Like the Pistolier play. Other than probably the Sunmaker, I don't know. It's hard because in theory it's great at killing a ton of infantry, but practice, it's so expensive, and it I think it has less ammo than a regular rocket battery for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. I think just if you need like a good anti-infantry option, it maybe would have been better to do something else, or else maybe just take some cannons. Like, with how expensive the Sunmaker is, you could maybe afford to put 2 cannons in here, and then cannons, they're not wildly useful right now for a lot of things, but one thing they can be good at is shooting cavalry, especially lower model count cavalry, like Cold One Knights, will get punished pretty hard, and, you know, you don't have to worry too much about, like, a big monstrous presence that much from Dark Elves. They might try and do something funny, but, I don't know, even, like, Hydras are pretty bad still, so yeah, having some anti-cavalry cannons to equalize the cavalry fight so that your cavalry, right, your Empire Knights, your Knights of the Blazing Sun, can then go to work against your opponent's infantry, who are incredibly squishy. Because their infantry are just a little bit better quality than yours, and you're probably going to, well, maybe not guaranteed to lose the infantry fight, but not exactly in your favor. It's pretty close, but overall, though, pretty good value across the board for the Empire. Say that. The Knights actually got pretty hard checked there. But meanwhile, Marathi, yeah, just feasting value for Magic, even though she did get hit by Pistoliers a little bit early on. Wasn't enough to really meaningfully impact her. She's able to soul steal her way victory. The Wand of Caradhran also very good right now for value. Also 700 value on some Bleak Swords. Yeah, Cold One Knights, a couple of them performing quite well. A couple of them were able to be managed decently, but overall, tougher matchup for the Empire than it used to be. But let's go on to Game 3 in this matchup. Group 4 represent. Yeah. Got a bunch of excellent players in here watching. That makes me feel even better, honestly. All right, we're going to have a nice savage way to finish this excellent series so far. Sands vs. Man 2. And Sands coming in with the Green Tide. Man 2's Norska. Azag the Slaughterer, actually one of my favorite lords in Warhammer history. Just awesome lord, awesome voice acting in Total War Warhammer 1. Super fun campaign. He's most of Total War Warhammer multiplayer. He's been a pretty good option as well. I mean, Flying Lore of Death has basically always been good. These days, maybe not as meta as certain other lords, but still can offer quite a bit to the Green Tide. He's got some Air Boys, Ruglets Armored Orcs, front line of some Orc Boys, backed up with Stone Trolls, Black Orc, Boss for some immune to psychology, Bolt Thrower, Spears, Spider Riders, quite a defensive formation as well, quite interesting. Some big brain Azag, tactics. Chimera is here for Norska. Yeah, nice Chimera breath attack there. Didn't do too much, but it's something. We got some Marauders and Bearmen. Worshippers of the Crow. Bearmen Great Weapons is an interesting choice against Greenskins infantry. I don't know. Maybe you're scared of Black Orcs here? Like, Biggins don't have that much armor. I don't know. It's just an interesting choice. Maybe you're looking for the extra charge bonus. Why would you not just take regular Bearmen? I don't know. You guys will have to let me know down in the comments below. Or in the chat here. Yeah, Skin Wolves as well. You got Riders of the Mighty Serpent, always in every build. They're just so good. A couple of Werekin. Yeah, interesting. Super interesting with the double Werekin and Lore of Metal. Just final transmutation. Looking to be as efficient as possible. Bolt Throwers. Have they just been hitting Azag basically this whole time? Yeah, I don't know actually what they've been hitting. Maybe these Horsemen. But it's mostly just a unit to kind of force initiative, which it's an expensive price to pay for just that, but let's see. A little bit of Spirit Leeching on the Shaman Sorcerer of Metal over time. That's going to be some efficient way to deal some damage to this build as they approach. Worshippers of the Crow moving in. Oh yeah, let's get a nice close-up. The countercharge of the Stone Trolls, Marauders, Bearmen. Regular old Orc Boys should actually trade pretty decently here. Another breath attack from the Chimera. Hits the Ruglets Armored Orcs, but the angle wasn't fantastic. Almost like a little bit too close maybe. Kind of more of a top-down hits a specific part of the unit. Nice final transmutation comes in though, and we see Azag also throwing down, what is this, little Soul Blight, Azag's Art Armor Ear to give some defensive buffs as well. Both players just going all out, dumping all their abilities across the board. Yeah, Azag right now hanging back, not really wanting to overcommit, but he's got to be careful. He's parked right over Riders of the Mighty Serpent. Nice Spirit Leech on the Shaman Sorcerer of Metal. He could maybe actually just run back and try and snipe the Shaman Sorcerer, or at the very least pull the Werekin off the front line. Right now they are munching through these Stone Trolls pretty hard. Same thing over here, like the Werekin and the Skin Wolves actually together. It's quite a potent combination. This troll is definitely going to be worn down over time. These Spider Riders have absolutely no business being in this fight, but actually with WA active, do have 32 melee defense, 51 melee attack. Yeah, they're actually taking it to the Skin Wolves there. Air Boys also really nicely positioned. Azag drops a tactical terror route right in the middle of this hack here. Sends the Wolves running to the hills. Other Skin Wolves terror out. A little bit of Spirit Leech on the Skin Wolves. Nice. Just trying to finish off some unit models there. Not allow them to heal. Will it actually get any unit models, though? Yeah, unfortunately, looks like it did not. And Azag pays for it by taking a bunch of HP damage. Werekin takes a few big chunks out of him, but he'll be able to screen through. Spider Riders just fine. Stone Trolls now prevailing mostly in the front line. This pocket here, the Chimera and the Skin Wolves were able to smack them Trolls down just fine. Pretty much anyone's game at this point. Azag's got to be careful. He's getting in the danger zone where one more big final transmutation will just finish him off. And he dives right next to the Werekin. Oh no, both Werekin collapse on Azag. He's in huge trouble. Chimera also jumps in. Wow, will the speed of the Wyvern be able to save him? Look at that juking. That's one of the things that makes Azag potentially very potent, is his escapability is actually really good. you're on top of your micro. Like, he's pretty squishy, actually. He doesn't have a ton of HP. Better than it used to be, certainly. They gave a Wyverns an HP buff at some point. But wow, then look at all that. Just turn their attention to the Stone Trolls. Just smash that unit, absolutely. So looking a little bit tough here for Sans, but he has plenty of potential to rally back. The Stone Trolls are going to have some regeneration potential here. Bob's still alive. And Norska's taking quite a bit of damage as well. Bolt Throwers, Rugloods, Armored Orcs. There's some tough units still hanging around. Oh, Azag popping that Ard Armor and then immediately juking out the Chimera, who does an animation which misses and also stalls him out, breaking the pursuit off. Wah popped at an absolutely critical time. These lowly goblin spears absolutely juiced to the gills right now between Ard Armor and Wah, punching way above their weight. Same thing even like with the Orc Boys and such, right? This entire pocket and basically the entire battlefield is just absolutely popping off. Is it going to be enough for the Green Tide to prevail here? Norska's starting to run out of steam. A lot of the Worshippers, a lot of these units, Worshippers of the Crow, yeah, basically all the Bearmen got so much HP, but it's starting to run out. Leadership's running out. Skin Wolves also can regenerate plenty, but are routed at this point. Black Orc Big Boss in trouble. It's triple single entity smash squad from Norska is absolutely lethal. But yeah, there's still some trolls hanging around. Maybe just hang back with them, let them regenerate some HP. Spider Rider's being sent to chase some routing units, perhaps, or no, maybe trying to go scout that Shaman Sorcerer for one last big Spirit Leech. Yeah, you see Azag pops the Foe Seeker, moving over here, trying to find where the Shaman's at to try and finish him off and win here on leadership. Skinwolf Werekin, pretty good, obviously, but they don't have the best leadership, especially when they're going to get surrounded by stuff like this. All the support units are gone for them. Might be able to just get army lost here, but yep, there's the Spirit Leech. Spider Riders did find the Great Shaman Sorcerer. He's going to go down. The Skin Wolves trying to bail him out. I don't know if it'll be enough. Looks like the Spirit Leech didn't quite finish him off in terms of his HP, but I'm not sure his leadership will actually recover here. Maybe we'll keep his unit card up as we check out the rest of the battlefield here. Yeah, Azak just moving in to support his troops. Provide a little bit of leadership buffs, bark out some orders, try and maybe fight with the Crown of Nagash for a minute. Is it actually the Crown of Nagash? Will he actually have mechanics to interact with Nagash when Nagash comes, Lord of the End Times? Remains to be seen. Maybe not. It would be funny. I mean, currently he just has like diplomatic buffs basically with undead factions, certain undead factions. But anyway, how funny would it be to have him like serve Nagash, or I don't know, have some event where if you're playing as Nagash you could potentially like get him on your faction or something. I don't know. I think that'd be super cool. I don't know if that's something they would do. But little Spirit Leech there on the Chimera. He's basically the only threat left on the field. Like, really just wants to army lost the Werekin if at all possible. Just because their regeneration makes them a big old pain to try and kill. But he could also just kind of wear them down with Bowfire potentially over time. Yeah, did the Shaman Sorcerer route? It looks like he did straight up route off the field. Maybe got killed by something, not sure. But anyway, yeah, Norska's leadership starting to falter. It is still technically conquest. But let's see here. Fast forward a little bit as they move in on the objective. Chimera comes to try and snack on Azag's Skull Muncher. It's got the bows, it's a clever ruse, and perhaps another Spirit Leech as well. Be enough to finish off the Chimera. Balance of power favoring Norska still because of those single entities. But it's a lot of Goblin Spears still, which, you know, lowly Goblin Spears, they can actually fight the Skin Wolves, especially if Azag or Bob is nearby. Is Bob still alive here as well? Lost track of Bob. Might have got killed. That's okay. Noble sacrifice of Bob. But yeah, there's just so much HP to try and grind through here for these two Skin Wolves of units, which can actually damage them pretty decently. Actual Skin Wolves are nowhere to be found for help, so let's see if the Werekin can do it. Chimera will come back. Routes to Azag. Azag, I think, just Yeah, finishes him off completely, maybe? Will it actually go to points? It's quite a wild battle, honestly. Absolutely crazy series. Absolutely wild series. Yeah. Werkin not going quietly, but Norska has such a ticket lead that it's going to take such a long time for the Green Tide to actually win this. But I still think maybe their infantry can just do it, to be honest. With Azag's support, he's going to get infinite art armors over time. But yeah, you see as soon as they move in to actually start fighting like all the spears on the objectives, rather, the air boys also shooting in some big old orc-size arrows. Wolves are getting close to their healing cap, so yeah, we'll keep it going. A little bit more Spirit Leech. Azag absolutely not committing to melee, which he absolutely should not commit to melee. He should just let all of his noble goblins sacrifice themselves for him as he continues to just dump out whatever Spirit Leech he can. And even just finishing off one Werkin here, I think might go army losses. I don't know. The balance power is pretty heavily against the Green Tide right now. Skin Wolves themselves getting in to finish off the Goblin Spears, but Orc Boys, yeah, another Spirit Leech. That should basically do that Werkin in. Yeah, will it be enough to actually kill him? I don't think so, but once again, he'll rout and probably not come back, or it might actually kill him. Wow. Wow, just barely enough. That was super close, honestly. But now it's just down to the one Werkin. And potentially tickets is going to come into play here as well. But Skinwolf unit really hanging on by a thread there. Ooh, Azag jumps down. Such a risky move. Needed to get rid of those Werkin, but also not want to lose Azag's leadership. Another Ard armor is popped. And yeah, with the Orc boys providing some mass, Goblins providing some spears, Werkin definitely cannot get through this block. Definitely not in time. Without Azag getting routed there. That was kind of his last chance. Got a good hit on it, but was not quite able to do it. And this is why Conquest. One of the longest possible Conquest games, honestly. But yep, it'll go to tickets to the Greenskins. I think eventually they maybe would have won that anyway. But yeah, very well played to Sans and Mantu. Absolutely wild series. Absolutely crazy, crazy series, guys. Big ups to both of them. Yeah, I don't know what else really to add here other than Azag, strong, risky but strong. Wow, 1,000 damage value on some Goblin Spears. How about that? That's some inflated damage values, I'll tell you what. From fighting some Skinwolf characters, 800 value on Goblin Spears there. You never know, you know. Always pack a couple Goblin Spears. You never know when you're going to need them. And don't just throw them away either, especially in a situation like this. Having them in the late game was super, super clutch. Orc Boys also trading super cost effectively. It's all across the board here. Yeah, Orc Air Boys. I mean, generally we're going to see a lot of inflated values because of the healing on this build and the fact that it was such a long game. So like quite a few units actually got heal capped here. But really excellent build from Sans. Excellent execution. Mantu put up an excellent fight as well. Really scrapped down to the absolute wire. Gotta respect the fight in him. And yeah, fun series for sure. Great way to get today started. Oof. Anyone else a little sweaty after that one? Yeah, good time. Very, very good time. All right. I'm going to go grab a drink and make sure my voice is staying nice and fresh. Download the next series, and we'll be right back. All right, let's get this next series downloaded. Go reverse order this time. Let's go group 6. You know what? Maybe group 5 also. On one. Or even group 7. How about group 7? Yeah, let's do group 7. 7, round 6. Flower. Okay. Okay. Quick. Fuibian. Okay, I think that's how you pronounce this. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correct. Chinese player here. Yeah, we're gonna take a look at Suibian, Flower versus Suibian. Yeah, worldwide championship. 300 plus players, 8 groups, and this is the last round of the group stage. So we're going through one battle from each group. Obviously, you know, there's been tons of battles casted all over YouTube in all kinds of different languages, which is really just so cool, so awesome. And we're gonna continue on with the final round of the group stage, which technically has concluded already. The playoffs are proceeding shortly, but got Zinch here. Changeling. Let's see the Changeling tech. Anytime we see Changeling tech, it's always crazy to see what we're in for. Nice Ducala. Changeling into Ducala is a nice tech for sure. We've got an Exalted Flamer, got some Exalted Pink Horrors, and some Marauders. And, yeah, the ROR Chariot. Does he actually have a caster? No. Giga Chad move, kinda, to be honest. I mean, he is fighting the dwarfs, so... yeah, that's wild. Because normally when you would take Changeling into... normally, when you take Changeling into a non-caster character, you would take a caster as well. Otherwise, you don't have any magic, which is a little strange. You don't get your Zinch Army ability also if you're not using any magic, so strange one for sure. But we do have Malachi, Runesmith here, a couple of Iron Drakes, Blasting Charge, Miners, Dwarf Warriors, a couple of Slayers here as well. Yeah, quad Trollhammer Torpedoes. Super interesting. Super interesting. That is really nasty, to be honest. Oh, we've also got the Skyhammer Squadron. Of course, now that Gyro Bombers come in groups of 4. But let's see here. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Love me the smell of some... I mean, they're already burning, but it's, you know, you're adding to the burning. With the Trollhammer Torpedoes. Technically actually do fire damage. But yeah, that was a nasty volley right there. That focus fire from those Trollhammers is pretty good, and they have really long range. 87 range here with the influence of Malachi nearby. A bit of friendly fire there, but yeah, that Exalted Flamer's got to be careful. Is there a Rune of Slowness for the Runesmith, I would imagine? Yep, just Rune of Slowness, actually. But that's why I bring A Cold. Good old A Cold. And it looks like we're going to see an Infernal Gateway. Oh, okay, so he did actually take spells. I didn't actually even check. I just automatically assumed he didn't take any spells off. So that was the plan. Apparently, come in, cast one Overcast Infernal Gateway, and then transform, and maybe transform back and cast more magic. But very interesting tactics so far. Kala does have to be careful. The troll hammers are still here. They're not disrupted whatsoever. Yeah, gotta be very aware of that. But the missile block, will it actually apply even, or do they count as artillery? I don't actually know. But regardless, Kala's gonna try and get the heck out of there. Meanwhile, the Tzeentch shooting is doing some damage, but not that much damage. A-Cold's also kind of just grinding away in here. But the thing with the troll hammers also is that they have 40% fire resistance. So the pinks shooting at them is doing some damage, mostly just due to the fact that they have super low HP. But that's really super inefficient, honestly. Yeah, I mean, the honestly, quad troll hammers is such a smart pick against Tzeentch in a lot of different ways. It is a lot to protect, though. Like a super rush-oriented, like chariot-oriented Tzeentch build could probably give this some problems. But, I mean, just the Marauder chariots, they don't do that much armor piercing at the end of the day, so maybe it's not too dangerous. Why does the Mighty Serpent specifically do armor piercing as a regiment of down? And they have, you know, the Warp Flame as well. Technically they're Marauder chariots, not Chaos Warrior chariots, but who's paying attention to that, right? Pretty sure Iron Drakes both count as artillery. Yeah, the flamethrowers I know are not subjected to missile block chance. I would assume the troll hammers are as well because they have explosive damage. So even if the base missile damage is blocked, which is quite a bit, explosive still hits regardless of missile block chance. So is Zakala considered large? I thought she was considered infantry. It looks like Changeling transformed back regardless. I'm pretty sure Zakala is infantry. I could be wrong. Oof. Yeah. Call to Flamer doing some nice damage to the Sky Hammer. One of the few units that's actually going to like be vulnerable to damage here. The Slayers also, you know. They don't have any armor, so the pinks shooting at them is actually probably the most efficient target they could shoot at here. But they've been able to just kind of wear the troll hammers down over time. It's not very efficient at all, but it's kind of working. The Doom Knights also zero damage value. Man, it's pain. This is quite a painful build. And that being said, even still, Aecold's moving in, doing some damage. Marauders are using blasting charges. Bases, which is, I guess, best that can be asked of them at this point. We're going to see another Infernal Gateway from the Changeling. Nope, looks like he actually canceled it out with the transformation. Probably smart. That was not super great placement. But the dwarves start to get pulled a little bit out of position. It's not great. They really need to stay together and protect those troll hammers. Troll hammers are also not focus firing super efficiently. Will it end up mattering? We'll see. Followers of the Great Eagle taking some massive damage. They're going to turn their attention to the troll hammers themselves. Also in the front line, we've got blasting charges. We've got Tzeentch, pinks firing into Slayers. Troll hammers did not get a second volley off, unfortunately, but took very little damage. That fire resistance definitely coming in there. Warp Flame helps a bit, but yeah, dwarves pushing forward. Aecold basically just kills a unit of troll hammers himself. Yeah, I guess that works. That's something that can potentially work over time, but man, these troll hammers are just getting insane value right now. That one's only 500. Yeah, this one's 1200. This one's gonna be 1,000, 1,000. Yes, that equals 1,000. Mask is infantry size one. Okay, let's see. Oh, you're right, actually. Yeah. Forgot about that. For some reason in my mind, Zakala counts as infantry, because she's definitely infantry size. Like, I think it's a little bit silly that she counts as large and, like, Grimgore does not for some reason. Yeah, don't think about it too hard. I was actually having a discussion with someone recently about, it's unfortunate that so many iconic characters were designed. I mean, maybe not unfortunate. They're part of what made this series great at the time, but they were designed in 2016, right? And that's something that necessarily can't be avoided. But when I think about characters like Ungrim or Grimgore that should be absolute melee beasts, They really just aren't that. And one of the things, I mean, Takala and Mask have good ability sets, but another thing that makes them great is their animation sets and the fact that they have, like, mass and can fluidly, like, move around. Bashiva's the same way, honestly. It's like they finally figured out how to make infantry-sized lords that can actually, like, have agency and move around and do stuff. It just makes me sad, because, like, if you had an Ungrim that was similar to Bashiva, it would make him so fun to play, and it would make the dwarves have a really cool option, right? Yeah, like Grimgor, too. He should be able to just, like, move around the battlefield basically at will and, like, path through almost anything, right? Other than, like, giant SEMs. And just having, like, faster, more fluid attack animations that actually, like, hit more meaningfully. Right now, it's just, like, him and Grimgor and Ungrim are two specifically, but their attack animations are just, like, so slow and cumbersome. And anyway, this pitch battle is getting quite intense, so let's get back to the commentary as Dakala and the Tzeentch boys move in, trying to break the final ranks of the dwarves. The Trollhammers, despite their amazing performance, done so much damage over time. They're still, you know, their defenses have been ground down, and the Tzeentch units, a lot of them are quite elite, so, you know, they're not going quietly. They've got quite good leadership. Even these Doom Knights with, like, 75% damage are still, like, 50+ leadership, potentially, with the right circumstance, so they are, yeah, they are relentless, as are the dwarves, so let's see who breaks first. Changeling did break in Dakala form, and with Dakala's speed, ooh, a nice little hit there from long range from Malachi as well. He might actually finish off Dakala here. Ooh, can he get the snipe? Old Dwarven snipe. Ooh, miss. Oh, I missed all three of those shots. That's super unfortunate. If any of those three connect, that is the end for Dakala. But instead, Changeling probably routes here. I can't imagine coming back with 14 AP. We'll see. Stranger things have happened. Its Exalted Flamer also way overchased something out in the distance, and no way. Dakala comes back with 14 HP. Changeling probably just going to go, like, hide in the woods somewhere, honestly. Not lose the leadership. Maybe we'll try for one more Infernal Gateway, but yeah. Malachi, just a blast. Did he just straight up knock Aecold over by shooting him? Pretty impressive, honestly. But, yeah, Malachi doing some nice range damage, just doing whatever he can at this point. Aecold is getting pretty low, although he can heal, of course. So he's still got plenty of healing cap space left. But the Trollhammers are pretty much all down at this point. There's a handful of Slayers remaining. Runesmith also got beat up pretty bad, but he's back momentarily. I don't know, a Rune of Slowness, if you get it on these Doom Knights, would be nice. Barriers replenishing, which is super unfortunate. The last couple of volleys here of this Trollhammer won't end up mattering that much. That clutch barrier refresh, and there's the Infernal Gateway, the last gas with the Changeling. Coming back from route. Gonna spell the end for that unit of Dwarf Warriors. Aecold also finishing off this unit of Dwarf Warriors. So yeah, Tzeentch, despite being super far behind at a point, manages to hit back. He did hit 190 damage. Oh yeah, I guess that's true. What was it? Like, yeah. 9. Oh my god, something else hit the Changeling. 9 HP. Was that another 5 damage from something random? But anyway. Wow. Wow. That's insanely close. Tzeentch army ability is going to hit Malachi. Maybe. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much game over for the dwarfs at this point. There are a couple of Trollhammers left. Malachi is also a Slayer, so he's unbreakable. He'll keep fighting to the bitter end. This unit of Dwarf Warriors is tangling with some Exalted Pigs who have pretty decent stats, but dwarves be okay for right now. But the Exalted Flamer also. Do these things cause terror? No, it's just fear. Nice little cancel there from the Changeling. Had some pretty bad placement, but yeah, I'm super impressed with the Tzeentch leadership here. Normally this is like elf behavior. This is very much like elf-coded behavior right now. Or, you know, dwarfs are also a faction that can do this, of just not giving up, right? Really having that leadership to just stick around far longer than perhaps you should be able to. But Malachi out of ammunition at this point, on the run. Not really a lot to do for him. He has okay melee stats against unarmored targets, but Aecold will definitely butter his bread. Especially with Aecold's perfect vigor. Yeah, ugh. Perfect vigor, almost heal capped at this point. Absolutely nothing on the dwarf build can kill him. And yep, army losses kicks in. Malachi's left to fend for himself, and he indeed retreats. Wow, Flower hanging in there. Really, really just not going away. Sticking with it. Despite massive damage taken on a bunch of high-value targets, ultimately, like, the Flamer is able to come in and get some really good damage. The Exalted Pinks, although it was inefficient, I mean, they still were able to mostly work down the Troll Hammers, along with, of course, Aecold himself just cutting through their units. Yeah, I mean, Malachi is an okay pick, okay damage with his rifle, but ultimately was not enough. Like, yeah, the range buffs are nice, but I don't know. I almost wonder. Yeah, I have to think about that a little bit. I almost wonder if you have Massey Lord, or I don't know. It's hard to say, Dwarf Lords. I'm really not an expert by any means. But, you know, Dwarf Warriors protected as well as they could. They don't really do a lot except bump here. Maybe it would have been better to actually have just charges instead, given that the Ekrins were able to do decently well. Players also just got hit with a bunch of fire on Troll Hammers. The Sky Hammers. Troll Hammers were great. The Sky Hammers, not so much. A little bit tricky. I probably wouldn't take them against Tzeentch just because Tzeentch has really good flying units. You know, Furies, Screamers. There's so many things. You know, you're just getting shot by Pinks, as we saw here. Really interested to see the Exalted Pinks and see them do so well. But, yeah, Changeling also, Aecold. Just overall nice performance all the way around. Super, super close game. Definitely, like, very small things could have tilted it in the Dwarves' favor. Certainly, if the Changeling goes down, that's game over. Absolutely. So, yeah, nice battle there. Let's go ahead and get the next replay from the series. Let's see if Subion can get back in it, or if Flower can perhaps close it out. Yeah. But yes, Infantry Lords. I don't think it will ever happen, unfortunately, but if the like current day animation team, whoever made Bathsheba basically could like do a pass on Grimgor and Ungrim specifically, I would be a real happy camper. Honestly, a lot of the Dwarf Lords, yeah, maybe you don't have to change all their animation sets. Some of them are okay. But yeah, Ungrim and Grimgor specifically, new animation sets, please. Thank you. For all time. Marathi's here once again for the Dark Elves. We've got some Scourge Chariots, Bloodrack Medusa, nice mobile build, Witch Elves, and Cold One Knights. Very, very interesting. Relatively tall, but yeah, it's Dark Elf Mirror. Wow, I didn't even notice as I was loading in. Crone Hellebron on the opposite side. We've got Dark Riders, Cold One Knights, Lore of Death Sorceress. Yeah, the Doomfire Warlocks, definitely going to be bait for some magic here. We've got more Doomfire Warlocks, more Cold One Knights, even more mobility. Choosing not to take any Scourge Chariots. Bloodrack Medusa is also a super interesting tech here. Yeah, let's see. Crone Hellebron on the Manticore, threatening, then pulling away. One of the few, like, actually scary Manticore characters in the game right now. Full Melkos mystifying miasma. Cold Ones. Yeah, Cold One Knights. Yes, they're here. Advancing slowly. Getting a little bit ahead of their Spear Sport. Although, I guess Spear Sport is not going to be of much support against Witch Elves. But I think I like the build here from Flower a little bit better. Dark Elf Mirror. Good night. Yeah. Hey, at least it's dynamic. At least it's not like a Coast Mirror, or even worse, like a Count's Mirror, where it's just, you know, wet corpses, like, slamming into each other ineffectively. At least we're gonna see some bloody action, and it should be over relatively quick. Helebron getting a nice engagement here. Despite being significantly outnumbered, pops the red mist and is able to get the better of the Cold One Knights and Witch Elves of Morathi. Dark Riders also enraged into this fight. Both players just escalating significantly. Frontline engagement getting underway as well over here. Witch Elves clashing, Cold One Knights clashing. Morathi herself jumping down to fight Crone Helebron. Want to see a little Soul Sealer here. Yes. Yes. Fight for our entertainment. Ghost Mirror is fun. It can be, for sure. It's very much like Napoleon Total War, except nothing routes, but... Yeah, wow, that was a fun engagement. Who got the better of it, though? Really hard to say right now. I think it's mostly just a bloody stalemate, but... does look like Helebron's forces are winning out a little bit more over here. Yeah, Witch Elves and Cold One Knights being collapsed pretty heavily, but Helebron herself is getting very much bullied by Morathi. This is the difference of being like a Spellblade. Yeah, Morathi, would you call her a Spellblade? Kind of, yeah. I mean, she has a halberd. Very much like a melee character in a sense, but more spell than melee, perhaps, given her lack of armor. I don't know. It's just an awesome character, to be fair. And Helebron's just a beat stick kind of support lord. Ooh, there's a nice Doom Bolt from the Doomfire Warlocks. So Helebron with 25 HP, just barely hanging on. Bloodrack Medusa gets pretty well wrecked there, but Morathi does not. And all Morathi needs to do is, like, look at Crone Helebron up close, and that will be the end. Maybe a little bit of Soul Stealer. Even a Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma probably kills Crone Helebron at this point. But Morathi feeling the speed of Sulafets. Yep, downs Crone Helebron in the air, swipes her straight down to the ground. Oh, she got that Potion of Youth all right. It's just that she got converted back before the time she was alive. And then, yeah, the Scourge Chariot's actually been able to hold out pretty well and help contribute. They've used most of their ammo. They've probably done some nice anti-infantry as well. Yeah, just good damage overall. Best hybrid chariot in the game by far. Probably just the best chariot in the game, to be honest. Overall. Yeah, gonna hit these Cold One Knights, little Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma. Now they go into a little kite phase, use up the last of their ammunition in the most efficient way possible. And, I mean, I don't want to hand this immediately to Morathi. As the Scourge Chariots go down, it is just Morathi, basically, left. So, she does have a decent amount of units to have to fight, but she is going to move in and try and take out the Sorceress of Death. Hit Claw gets below 1,000 HP, he routes. Yeah, Skaven leadership, especially the leadership of Skaven has poor leadership, which is a problem. There's the Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma. That should basically finish off that Cold One Knight, but wow, Morathi takes a lot of damage in the process. He is very squishy in terms of her HP pool. Gotta be quite cautious. Yeah, definitely can't take another one of those. So, is there another one of those? Not really. There is one healthy Doomfire Warlock, which similarly will be a problem due to their high weapon strength and magic damage. They'll punch straight through. Well, I guess Morathi doesn't have physical resistance. I always think she does, and then I remember, no, she actually has spell resistance. Yeah, I've had some incredibly clutch character rallies today. Morathi gets some hits there. Nope out of the spears, but who doesn't have to nope out of the spears, hits them while they're unbraced. Yeah, they countercharge there at the last second. Nice little Scourge Chariot charge. And here it is. This is the dangerous one. Ooh, Morathi jumping straight into the middle of it. Very, very dangerous, but she's got a Soul Blight from the Doomfire Warlocks on the chariot on her, so wise to just maybe pull out of that? Maybe? Nope, she's gonna stay in it. Spirit Leech on the chariot. Morathi takes a few swings with her halberd, but importantly, the Doomfire Warlocks did not surround and kill Morathi. Instead, they surrounded and killed the Scourge Runner chariots. So, yeah, I mean, that's a very Dark Elf move for sure. Most ignoble sacrifice. You know, now all those Dark Elves families are going to have a blood feud with Marathi, but, Lithanar watching in the corner. Yeah. Yeah, they should be banned from the tournament for this flag selection. At least one of you play like the white banner, you know, like, or like the Hellebron's banner. Honestly, if Hellebron comes under her own banner, like she has probably the best Dark Elf color scheme in the game. That black and gold is just chef's kiss, beautiful. But instead, they both take a different shade of purple. Yeah, Marathi's under the wrong flag. Crone Hellebron's under Marathi's flag. It's just a mess. But Flower is able to prevail there and takes the series on 2-0 sweep. Yeah, honestly, very well played to Subion as well. Flower's an incredibly tough player to go up against, so he's able to acquit himself well there overall. But Scourge Runner Chariots, tough to beat. Like the combination of the Witch Elves and the Cold One Knights as well. Marathi also just such a strong lord. Definitely a lot stronger than Hellebron, especially in a mirror situation like this. Dark Riders, though, some pretty good value there. Cold One Knights also. Definitely the Cold One Knights of Hellebron did better, although some of that does come from her own support value as well. So, but stand these two. Yeah. Fun one for sure. Definitely fun one. All right, we're going to continue in reverse order. Here. The replays you sent me, Codex. I will probably end up casting those in the next. Try and get video content. I didn't manage to get any video content this week, but that's okay. I enjoy streaming quite a bit, so yeah, and it's been fun. Honestly, I haven't streamed much at all this summer. Get 2 weeks in streaming is something I'm quite happy about. But let's go to 6. Who have we not showcased? That's also. Let's go. Let's go with Navigator. This is Gaz. Ooh, yeah. All right. This is going to be a nice, hot, and bloody good time because it is indeed Chaos Dwarfs versus Khorne. Yeah. Woo. Very red, very gold, very blood, very skull. Kislev versus Tomb King's game versus Guac was good. The other one was certainly a game that was played. Yeah, nice. I'll probably include them both in one video then. That's good to know. Appreciate the tip. Let's see builds here. Marathi's going to be insufferable after this. That's very funny. Yeah, you got some Wolf Raiders here doing some skirmishing immediately. 3 Iron Sworn, Razawath, the Hashut Stark Ravagers, and the Granite Guard. Wow, that is not enough units, I don't think, but we'll see. We've got Valkia the Throw, Fleshhounds, and ROR Fleshhounds. Some Bloodletters out on the flanks. Center is going to be Marauders, backed up by some Great Weapon Minotaurs. Wow. Yeah. Furies of Khorne. Way out on the left side. But it's such a small build for Chaos Dwarfs, man. I also, like, just watch, okay? You think to yourself like, oh, Valkyria's anti-large character. I should totally send her in to fight something large. But no, you shouldn't, because she actually has worse stats. Like significantly worse weapon strength, and like 5,000 less HP. So no, Valkyria's terrible. You should not send her in. You should not take her. You should take any other lord. Oh, yeah, Valkyria almost just gets, like, 3-tapped by Drazoath. That's so bad. That's so bad. The funny thing is, actually, the Minotaur's great weapons probably don't win here. Ironsworn have good enough defensive stats. They'll be able to hold out okay, especially Granite Guard providing some shotgun overwatch. I'd imagine the Furies will try and jump on them, but it'll only do so much. Spear Slopnir comes in, does some damage. But this is actually kind of a Gigabrain build, because a lot of what Khorne brought is not up to quality to be able to defeat this. And the Minotaurs, yeah, kind of just thrown in willy-nilly straight into the front line without too much of a second thought, where needed some to stay back and countercharge the enemy large units. Screening with the Flesh Hounds a little bit here. I look away for 5 seconds while he's Valkyria almost dead, because Valkyria's terrible in cars. Look at this. Look at this. Drazoath is just so much better. It's like Drazoath, she tried to 1v1 Drazoath, and he's just better. Good old Ashy Drazi. Smash it up. And yeah, she's gonna continue to lose to him. Oh man, look at the blasting charges there on the Flesh Hounds. Nasty, nasty, nasty. Yeah, that'll be a quick victory, I think, for the Chaos Dwarfs. Khorne kind of just YOLO charged in. Very, very Khorne-coded behavior. And, yeah, just charges in and loses. She saw her weapon strength. I know, right? Literally less than 500 weapon strength on a Khorne Lord is such a shameful display. It's so bad. Base value 400. 400. She's basically an elf in terms of her weapon strength. Look at this, 320 after wounds. She's literally like not even an elven noble. Stop taking Valkyria, please. I'm begging you. Stop taking Valkyria. She's so bad. Please. Please. Yeah, Navigator absolutely slayed that one. How terrible is this matchup for Khorne? Yeah, Codex can also answer, obviously, but, it seems... bad. I don't know. If Skullcrushers were, like, functional-ish, okay, I don't know. Even then, like, your anti... This feels bad. Against, like, top-level stuff. Maybe Wrathmongers? I don't know. Yeah, it feels potentially pretty rough for Khorne, because Chaos Dwarfs can match a lot of what you can do, but also have more tools. Anyway, super interesting for sure. Let's go ahead and get to the second battle of this series. Let's see if Pegaz can get back in it. That was, as promised, a bloody, brutal good time. At least one player. And we've got Slaanesh. Again, very straightforward build. He's got a Sorcerer Lord. He's got an Exalted Hero. 3 Slangors. 3 Devotee Crossbows. And 3 Fiends. And that's it. Super simple. Pegaz also is going for an absolute build of something that you can do. The double wagon. I haven't seen this in so long. This is something that you can technically do when you're playing the game. It also has a Hydra, which I don't know if the Hydra is actually fixed or if it's still... Oh no, this is a Charybdis, even worse. Elronite Red Spears. We've got some Blackguard here. 3 Blackguard, Dark Shards. Wow, so kind of taking the cue from the opponent and going with a super elite tall build. Hey, good night, Codex. Thanks for stopping by. No, I mean, Ironsworn are a big problem for Khorne because their blasting charges are super nasty. They do magic damage, so... And, like, their defensive stats are good enough that they actually trade pretty well, even with, like, Exalted Bloodletters. Dark Elf box leaving just in time. This is the most cursed Dark Elf box of all time, though. I mean, come on. We've got a Bloodrack Shrine. We've got Hellebrand on her wagon. Like, this is something that I used to do as a joke. Back in Warhammer 2, like, around the time that this DLC that had the Medusae came out, I would do this sometimes just for fun. And I don't think I ever won with this build. Not exactly this. It would be slightly different, but yeah, the double wagon is something that you can do. That's about all I can say about it. The devotees are definitely going to have a good time. They've got some targets to shoot at for sure. They've literally got whatever they want to shoot at. They've got elite infantry. They've got SEMs. You know, whatever they feel. But a little bit of Flock of Doom here, and the Bloodrack Shrine will be counter-firing a little bit, but not really doing a ton. Also going to see an absolutely disgusting Pit of Shades here. Just punishing the box behavior. Yeah. Devotee crossbows doing a number on the Bloodrack Shrine right now. Honestly, yeah, Exalted Hero and the Chaos Lord of Slaanesh, both on their demonic steeds. They're immediately going to jump in here as well. I love the Exalted Hero of Slaanesh. It's so silly. Big crab claw arm. Yes. Red Mist of Hellebrand descends, and the guys will actually countercharge a little bit here. They'll come out of their box just long enough to get pin cushioned. I mean, we'll see. Devotees used up about half of their ammunition and have already finished off the Bloodrack Shrine, so Hellebrand no doubt next on the agenda. Less scary because she doesn't have a ranged attack, but yeah, also the crossbows just dumping in on the Blackguard and so forth. Ooh, to thunk it. Dump it to crumpet. Langors are mostly just here for the ride. It's really the devotees and the fiends that are doing the damage. Speaking of which, let's check in with our beloved fiends. They are being very careful about when and where they're charging in, which is wise. There are a lot of halberds here. So you want to do a quick little cycle in, cycle out. Don't want to stay in combat for too long, especially not with murderous prowess active. But the Dark Elves are feeling themselves a little bit here. They're going to actually get aggressive and try and push forward here, get on the devotees. The Ribdis also getting in the fight. It doesn't have murderous prowess, so it doesn't get any benefit from it, but instead it's just getting debuffed to the ground. But unfortunately, devotees are faster than Blackguards, so they're able to get out and get away without too much issue. What this also does is it spreads the Dark Elves out significantly. Hellebrand gets eaten up by fiends. Yep. That wagon gets broken there, and how do you toggle the icon under stamina? That is a great question, sir. I'll be happy to answer as the Dark Elves go into their death throes here. So if you hold down the spacebar in combat, you'll see this little arrow appear on the right side of your screen. If you click that arrow, it pulls up a bunch of options. If you check the option, then it means it will appear while the spacebar's down. If you click the lock icon, then it will permanently show. So if you look here, this status icons, the one you want, if you go ahead and make sure that is both checked and locked, then it will show you like the vigor, you know, like winning, losing, under fire, moving, whatever, little status icons here. Yeah, there you go. Definitely a nice little UI tweak I always make to help me, give me just a little bit more information at a glance. Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Should probably make an updated like UI guide for multiplayer, or just battles in general. A lot of it is not necessarily multiplayer specific, but yeah, Dark Elves gonna form up their little box around the objective. Basically, for them, all they're hoping is that they can hold out long enough to win on tickets. Don't think they'll be able to, but we'll see. Right now, just kind of face charging some halberds. The other halberds are receiving all the crossbow bolts that were ever made. Slangor's nice charge on this side. And then, once again, Pit of Shade straight through the center. And, yep, before it even gets a chance to go off, Dark Elves are going to throw in the towel there. And Navigator with an easy 2-0. Relatively easy. I mean, Pegaz did as well as he could. Navigator, though, veteran player for sure. You got to be on your A game. And this build, as fun as it is, as much as I myself have enjoyed using something like this, definitely not wildly competitive, and ultimately was not successful. Love this game, just so bad at microing. Yeah, I totally understand. It's a lot. One thing I would recommend, just in general for micro, like a micro tip, even in campaign, is to try and keep your, like, try and use control groups and try and keep them consistent. So, like, you know, you maybe always put your Lord on control group number 1. Maybe you put, like, your archers always on control group number 4, right? So as you're, like, commanding your troops, it becomes, after time, especially once you kind of get it in your muscle memory, then you can say, like, okay, you don't even have to think about it. Like, okay, archers, focus fire this target. Boom. 4, click. That's it. It honestly boosts your micro quite a bit. Get used to it. But yeah. Someone please clip Dom saying that Valky is bad and send it to me. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, who knows? Maybe Creative Assembly will actually buff her, but... Anyway, that was a nice quick one. A little bit of a change of pace, but let's see here. Let's go to group... Oh, that was 6. Let's go to group 5. Let's go to... They're Alpha D. Bye. Real quick as I'm getting this ready. Go ahead and hydrate yourself. I'm going to rehydrate as well, and I'll be right back. Okay. 2. We're going to do Zen Fishy versus Alfredinho. Let's get to it. Yes, back to the Chaos Dwarfs Corn game. It's unwinnable for Corn. Yeah, there's so many problems that you don't have great solutions for, or at least your solutions for those problems are immediately countered by other problems. So, yeah, it seems like maybe the hardest matchup for Corn. Maybe you would be an expert on that, Scarbrand, but it seems like to me that would be one of the harder ones for sure because of some of those interactions. But look at this. Look at this Vanguard Beastman versus Tzeentch here. We are in for some fun straight away. We've got an Exalted Lord of Change of Tzeentch, Shrieking Sky Race. Wow. Chromatic Aberrations with some more blues scattered around. Nice line of pinks in the back, including the Sour Guts ready to blow themselves up. As for the Beastmen, ooh, we've got the Regiment of Renown Praeton here. Super interesting. It does have Unyielding Assault if anything's routing within range, which is kind of nice. Yeah, it's a unit that is here still. We've got some Zangors, we've got Harpies. Wow, what is that, rank 7 Harpies? Crazy. Tons of Goros, we've got Bray Shaman Laura Wild, and some Centigors, including some throwing axes. Let's get things rolling. Even Corn Tzeentch is easier. Yeah. Definitely does seem that way. Tzeentch is crafty, but brittle, and I think there's potentially some ways that, like, I don't know, Tzeentch mobility can't really compete with Corn quite as well. I mean, they do have Doom Knights, which are flying. Corn's flying kind of sucks. It really sucks, to be honest. Besides Furies, which are awesome in the right circumstance, but I mean, they're not world beaters by any means. Bloodthirsters are sadly just really bad. Really. Yeah, Praeton's taking some damage. Beastman started right in the face of Tzeentch, but then immediately just chose not to engage. I'm not really sure why, to be honest. Like, I'm not really sure what benefit the Beastmen get of delaying that engagement at all. I think, you know, you have the initiative of that Vanguard deployment. You might as well just take it, rush in, right? But I don't know. Maybe they're trying to take some time to build up some more Winds of Magic, perhaps? Let's see. Bloodthirsters lose to Burning Chariots. Yeah, that's about right. Mantle of Grok, Devolve. Okay. Very interesting spell selection for sure. Very, very interesting spell selection, but the Centigors are pushing up around the flanks here. We've got Chariot Boy moving in, trying to get in range. Honestly, yeah, Beastman really facing just overwhelming firepower right now, as the ranged attack of Tzeentch is incredibly hard to deal with. Granted, the blues will be out of ammunition pretty quickly, and then they're not going to be contributing nearly as much. They'll have to run into combat, which, you know, there's plenty of bodies to be able to do that, but yeah, weird not to take any AoE damage here from the Bray Shaman. Would have really benefited him. Also, maybe more chariots. I mean, obviously, hindsight 2020, you can't exactly predict what your opponent's going to bring here, but I would think at least a chariot or two would be a pretty good idea against Tzeentch. They are the ranged Chaos faction, right? So probably want some kind of ranged disruption ability. And chariots, especially the armored chariots of, like, the Razorgors, do pretty well at just getting in, disrupting. The super light mass of the pinks and blues means they'll just get cut through like butter pretty much by chariots. So yeah, you can see like the Lord having no problems, basically taking no damage there. Really, yeah, although obviously if Tzeentch then goes with a super halberd oriented build, your chariots might be a little bit awkward. They might have a great place to land, and I do think a halberd build is not out of the question here. It's like a few Chaos Halberds mixed in the middle, but yeah. Let's see. These Centigors going to get just smashed and routed. Exalted Lord of Change making his presence felt. A lot of terror being done there. Praeton is also, again, here, along for the ride, but not looking great for the Beastmen right now, outside of Great Bray Shaman, who's mostly kind of just being ignored right now. But yeah, odd spell combination for sure. Definitely need Traderkin. Definitely need Traderkin. Yeah, Seattle watching. Very true. Alfredinho manages a relatively easy victory there on that battle. Let's see if Sandfishy can get back on the next one. But overall, thanks. Blues, just way too much for the Beastmen to deal with. Relatively thin Beastman build as well. Maybe you'd want to see it a little bit wider. The Angors are a little bit of an odd pick, I think. But yeah, it's not the tools that he needed for the task at hand. Definitely need more. Yeah, a lot of Centaurs to have to manage, and Centaurs are just so squishy. Plus, regular Centaurs, what exactly do they do for you here? If not run down skirmishers, which they were not able to successfully do. Anyway, let's go on to the next replay. Yeah, all right. Lizardmen versus Cathay. It looks like the single Iron Claw has been the... Like most Cathay builds I've seen in this tournament have one Iron Claw, which makes me happy. Nice to see some Tiger representation. We've also got Zhao Ming here under the Rebel banner. Super interesting. Peasant Long Spears. We've got some Peasant Horsemen as well. Iron Hail Guns. We've got Peasant Archers. Plus, yeah, Peasant Archer Regiment of Renown. Iron Claws in the center, backed up by a single grenade. Got the Regiment of Renown Celestial Crossbows with their insane 180 range. Armor-piercing, magic, fire damage. They do not have shields, unlike the regular Celestial Crossbows, which is odd, but... Wait, what? Do the regular Celestial Crossbows have shields? I'm pretty sure they do. Do they not? Like 99%. Anyway, we've got Mazda Mundi here for the Lizardmen, Cold One Riders, and Cold One Spear Riders, Skink Cohort, and Skink Javs as well. Yeah, some Skink Skirmishers. Mazda on's lock. Nope, just on his chair. And a Carnosaur. You don't see Carnosaur super often, but Alfredinho gonna try and put him to good work. Put him to good use. Yes, good work. And you can see him kind of sliding his formation around a little bit, trying to pull Cathay a little bit out of position. Just get whatever little quick engagements he can. Throw some javelins at these Peasant Long Spears. Yeah, just unload javelins in the Peasant Long Spears. It'll do some decent damage. Nothing insane, but Long Spears do need to be respected. But they don't have any missile block chance, so might as well just do what you can with your missiles. Got Cold One Spear Riders also. These Peasant Horsemen just absolutely sacrificing themselves. That's going to be pretty brutal. The Lizardmen start to work down on the flanks here. Just like the Empire, Cathay has no chance of competing with Lizardmen cavalry, so I don't even know why you would really even take Jade Lancers and Peasant Horsemen here. Maybe just go full box build with the drum and call it a day, honestly, in this matchup, but Iron Claws will rush in, see their high-value targets. They themselves actually took some damage, like from some javelins and so forth, maybe some magic from Mazda Mundi as well. Speaking of which, continuing to unleash. He's got, yeah, maybe something. I thought there was maybe a debuff there in the back line, but no. Lizardmen have taken a good amount of missile damage, though. Bounce power starting to shift in Cathay's favor. But the Lizard Cavalry finally getting through into the back line, bypassing Peasant Long Spears, bypassing the Iron Claws, and running down those archers, those crossbowmen, and just the Silver Road. Jade crossbows, or sorry, the Celestial crossbows. A little jade colored, but still, yeah. More Peasant Bowmen, or Peasant, yeah, Peasant Bowmen routing, Peasant Horsemen charging in, not doing a ton of damage. Zhao Ming's going to transform here, see if he can affect the battle with his dragon power, but let's see, the Iron Claws holding out quite well. They're basically exactly in the kind of engagement they want to be. They're fighting like large armored things, really working down a lot of these Spear Riders over time, but it's just one unit. They can only do so much at the end of the day. But the terror does kick in from Zhao Ming, and some of the skinks at least rout, getting rid of some of the Lizardmen's support. While Alfredino over here got some nice breaks on like the grenades and the shotguns without them really using any of their ammo. Have not contributed in a meaningful way. But Lizardmen, yeah, you can see them kind of pulling back some units as well, using those skinks chase and engage. Asdemundi manages to stay relatively safe despite all the threats. Nice little cycle out and cycle back in. Carnosaur leading the charge. Iron Claws all spread out now. Their models are getting pretty well surrounded. Yeah, Carnosaur passed straight through. Regrowth active is going to go straight after Zhao Ming. I don't know if I've ever seen a Carnosaur fight Zhao Ming, actually. Doesn't seem like Zhao Ming wants any of that smoke. Instead, the Carnosaur is going to continue the head-bashing rear charge. Yeah, manages to stagger not Miao Ying. Zhao Ming's flanked there. And a little Ruination of Cities gets rid of the support spears, and right about that time also army loss is kicking in. Yeah. Alfredino manages to take game 2 on that series and wins in a sweep. Yeah, fantastic. Cold One Riders, fantastically cost-effective here. Spear Riders, very well done as well against enemy cavalry. Carnosaur didn't end up getting that much value, but just the presence of it bullying Zhao was quite nice, honestly. The fact that they're relatively cheap, all things considered, for an anti-large monster, like they're not a beat stick by any means. Definitely get outclassed by other more expensive anti-large monsters, but when you use something just towards the middle of the pack, right? Like, you don't need something on the level of a Saurian to Zhao Ming in melee, right? Especially with healing and support. Carnosaur is cost-effective enough to get the job done without needing to over-invest. Tiger Warrior, super good, honestly. I just think, yeah, for the build execution, I think all this cavalry you can cut, take a drum, upgrade to some Jade halberds, and then box it up, unfortunately. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of box play by any means, but yeah, I think against Lizardmen, shouldn't even try with cavalry. Like, there's no point in even trying as Cathay. So, a Carnosaur that was useful, yes, in this year, 2026, a Carnosaur did a thing. Congratulations. Heard it here first, guys. Now moving quite along. 128 concurrent viewers right now, too. Thank you all so much for coming out, man. This has been absolutely awesome. A lot of people chilling on the stream today, so thank you guys so much. Really, really enjoying it right now. And we're going to continue on. So, let's go through to Group 4. Curio versus... Oh, here we go. Codex versus Guac. You're in this one. Yeah. That's right, Codex. Yeah, we'll get to that one in a video. For now, we'll do Curio versus Hilden. And let's see. We're gonna get back to Lizardmen, this time versus the foul forces of the Plague Lord. Yes. Yes, indeed. Yeah, we're gonna have another Slan here, this time just a generic. I forget the flavor of the lemons. I think is that a Life Slan? Light Slan. Okay, nice, very cool. Magic damage and Shem's Burning Gaze, and he's got the net, and he did take Exorcism for map-wide immune psychology and magic attacks. Quite nice. We've got Skink Skirmishers here. We've got Skink Cohort. Bow Stegodon, nice. Some Spear Riders. Salamander Hunting Pack, Regiment of Renown, Cohort of Sotex, more Spear Riders. Red Crests on the flanks, very nice. For Nurgle, we've got Kazg with a Nurgle Sorcerer leading the way. Some Throwing Axe Cav, some Forsaken backing up Plague Bearers, and a Beast of Nurgle. Nice. You don't see these guys super often days, but they're a fun little single entity that doesn't do terror, but is immune to flanking. Have the best stats in the world by any means, but single entity. And it has this little slime trail debuff, is a little -5 melee attack. Neat. Love me some unusual picks. The bow stag is also a pretty unusual pick, but it does give Lisman technically an artillery option. Wow. That pick off, how many unit models is that? That 3 unit models of 4 unit models. Wow. Maybe 5? Hang on. Can we count? They're 2 like together there. No, that's just 1. 4 unit models off of like 1 shot on the Rot Knights. That's not bad at all, actually. That's actually, yeah, that's good value. I haven't used the bow stag in a long time. I have no idea if they buffed the missile damage or anything, but it used to be that if you rank 9 these guys, they could actually snipe Skaven artillery. Like, I remember when Warhammer 2 first came out, there was quite a few matches where I caught Skaven players off guard. They were trying to cheese Lizardmen with Warp Lightning cannons, and I had a bow stag, and, you know, use the Shield of the Old Ones to resist some of the damage, so that you can win that fight. But because the Skaven artillery pieces are so big, they're super easy to hit, and you could actually win by just destroying the enemy artillery. Anyway, little banishment here, little engagement. Not a ton of tactics for Nurgle other than just walk forward and try not to die too badly. Or rather, to try and die slow enough that you can offset it with healing. Yeah, 2 Lizardman matches. Love to see it. Kazg, he's ready. He's going to get on in here and try and befoul this Stegodon. Plague Lord also comes through. Casts a little Stream of Corruption there in the back line. Doesn't do any damage, really. But, you know, he's making himself feel useful. The 2 of them versus the Stegodon. I mean, Stegodon's got a ton of HP, but they are doing some damage, certainly. Support Skinks are going to move in. And it does look like Forsaken also moving in. The Beast of Nurgle could come help this single entity engagement, honestly. That'd be a nice little use for him. But right now, he's a little slow out in the open field, getting hit by Skink Skirmishers. Honestly, just wasting their ammo because he has regeneration. I mean, I guess it's not a complete waste, but nice. Another Stream of Corruption there. Gonna hit a little bit of the Skinks. Placement wasn't absolutely crispy, but still. Beast of Nurgle now with Kazg and the Chaos Sorcerer Lord getting a little bit surrounded by Skinks, but they are just Skinks, even if they are a cohort of Sotek. Relatively scary, but not any world beaters by any means. Old One Spear Riders also getting somewhat surrounded here, taken out by Forsaken, Throwing Axe Cav. Yeah, it's looking pretty rough for the Lizardmen there. But Slawn's still completely fine. And, yeah, the Stegodon also still pretty healthy. Some of the Forsaken have been worn down, and the Plague Bearers in the front line have also taken quite a bit of damage. That mage killed more Skinks than the enemy. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, nothing a little banishment can't solve, right? Anyway. Yeah, Kazg and his buddy here getting a little bit split up. We are going to see a net on the Sorcerer Lord. Horde of Sotek move in. Ooh, are the Umbral Tide going to turn around and maybe try and focus him while he's netted, perhaps? Perhaps. Little Shem's Burning Gaze there. Yeah. Missile Slawn. Slowly poking away at whatever targets get within range. He's got some value. Nothing insane yet by any means, but a Horde of Sotek with their poison, armor piercing, they're able to catch the Sorcerer Lord and keep him reined in for a little bit. While over here, nice little rear charge incoming from the regrouped Spear Riders. Sickly Forsaken and Horsemen. Charge down here. Skink cohort moving in. Yes, Red Crests. Armor piercing and speed and poison makes them nice mobile support. They're able to move in and take out some of those Marauders. Their banishment here. And Stegodon's struggling in terms of his leadership. Umbral Tide haven't been able to make great connections so far, but they will absolutely terminate the Beasts of Nurgle if they get a good opportunity. There's a nice stream of corruption straight through the core of Sotek. Another Shem's Burning Gaze also in response. Technically does fire damage as well. It wasn't the best penetration on that, but it's something. Fortunately, the Stegodon did get eaten up in that engagement. 2v1. No surprises there. But here comes the net, and the turn, and the fire to the face. Yes, Umbral Tide, Hunting Pack, extra accuracy, extra fire rate from being an ROR. Benefit greatly. If he gets just a full snipe on this, that is excellent. Ooh, it's going to be close. Yeah, no, Sorcerer Lord maybe just routes here. A little bit of small arms fire coming in as well from some Skeet Skirmishers. It is enough to rout the Chaos Lord. That's really tough for Nurgle without him on the field. There's, you know, no Stream of Corruptions. I think, did he even have the healing, or was he just purely banking on Stream of Corruption? Interesting. He did have Filth Mace as well, I guess, but yeah, Crown of Everlasting Conquest allows him to heal a little bit while he's in melee, but if he's just getting skirmished at range, won't come into play. Oh no, it actually is not melee conditional, but it does make him weak to fire damage, which explains a lot. Yes, the Beast and Kazk and these last couple Plague Bears not going quietly. They're continuing to hold out. But the Salamanders from long range. Nice to see the Umbral Tide Hunting Pack also do a thing here. We're seeing some unusual Lizardman units prevail. I mean, I guess Salamander's not that unusual, but yeah, you don't see them as much as you used to. Mobility game these days, they can be a little bit tough to protect, but beautiful use of the net here. Kazk just absolutely bathing in glorious fire. I love the little green effect on the Umbral Tide in particular. Very, very cool. Oh, yeah. And that should basically be army losses with him going down. Yep, there you go. Wardens of the Living Pools. Very cool. Furio able to win out against Hilden there. And a very nice game, all things considered. Yeah, Red Crest able to get some nice support value and some nice actual damage value as well. 3,500 on Salamanders. That's the net plus Salamander advantage right there. Wow, that's old school tactic for sure. Reminds me of the Empire net and gun back in the day. But Stegodon also with some very respectable value there for Nurgle. I mean, you're going to expect some pretty good value spread around the field. Some of the Forsaken doing okay. Just overall tough. What is it, like 300 plus players join this tournament? So, yeah, definitely no way we're going to be able to cast all the games. But we're getting through a few series from each round. And we're actually on to round 6 now. So we're going to be proceeding past the group stage into the playoff very soon. Definitely bring you guys that content once available. And, of course, there is still time to donate. Please, if you are enjoying the games and you feel so inclined, yeah, this is a entirely community-funded prize pool for this tournament. We're up to $800 US, which is absolutely fantastic. It's been great to see the community come together and contribute that. And if you're enjoying these games, if you want to hand a little tip to the players, basically whoever ends up winning the tournament, here is the link to donate. Yeah, 100% of the proceeds of that PayPal go directly to the players. It goes directly to the tournament winners. I don't keep any of it. The tournament organizers don't keep any of it. That PayPal fund is 100% for the benefit of the prize pool. So, like I said, if you are so inclined, if you have any available funds, if you've enjoyed my videos over time, or you've enjoyed this amazing multiplayer community and the content that it generates, if you have the means, feel free, by all means. Certainly would appreciate it. Moving on now to game 2. How many have been eliminated? A lot. There was a group stage. They were all 300 players were split up between the different groups. What was it? 8 different groups, and the top few from each group would go on. So there's been some pretty great players, pretty great scraps already. Now moving into this game 2, we're gonna take a look here. Warriors of Chaos Another Nurgle Lord, this time of death. We've got some Forsaken, including the Demon's Spew. Very cool. Chaos Sorcerer of Fire as well. Armored Trolls, Pleasure Guard, Tzeentch Knights, interesting. Marauders, and some Marauders throwing axes. Yeah, the Tzeentch Knights is an interesting choice. I'm not really sure what the benefit is here, particularly against Cathay. Maybe they're meant to, like, fight Crowmen on the ground or something? Not really sure. Anyway, we've got Zhao Ming leading the way, Cannon already opening fire, some Nangao Grenadiers, Jade Warriors, Jade Halberds, couple Peasant Long Spears. We've got Lady Lu Bu here, Tao Yan the Merciless. Zhao Ming gonna pop that transform. How long does it take? A few months? Yeah, essentially, yeah. Yeah, players in the group stage could kind of play, like each week they had to play a match, I think, and then you know, like a best of 3. And then once the group phase is over, then again the top few get taken through and go on to a playoff. Oh yeah, it's been ongoing for quite some time. Definitely been a kind of an all summer long event, to be honest, but countercharging the Crowmen when they dive onto something was the idea. Okay, awesome. We have Curio here in chat. Excellent. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. That extra little bit of magic damage there. And I mean, barrier is always nice. It, like, even here, you know, you've taken a little bit of damage from whatever, the cannon or whatever, and it's like, it means nothing because it just did barrier damage, right? Anyway, yeah, Marauder Horsemen getting some Peasant Horsemen pulled out of position a little bit here. Pleasure Guard getting ready to collapse the flank. Forsaken have been beat up pretty bad on the approach by those bombs in particular. But kind of approaching not directly square, but kind of side on the formation allows you to kind of overload a little bit here. And like Cathay right now is a little bit slow to react to bring the rest of their infantry and so forth to bear. But yeah, right now the Tzeentch Knights do charge in. A little bit of Heaven's Flash on them though from Tao Yan. And a nice Burning Head rips through. That being said, Forsaken are relatively squishy. They don't have a lot of staying power. Run out of steam relatively quickly. And the Pleasure Guard also, unfortunately, do count as large, so the spears might be able to trade reasonably cost effectively. Cathay now kind of reorganizing their infantry a little bit here, but oh man, this is potentially really bad. The Nurgle Sorcerer gets caught in the back line here with both Tao Yan and Zhao Ming just absolutely putting it to him. Oh yeah, gets terror routed in a matter of seconds and is going to have to flee, although does have that Crown Everlasting Conquests, as we have seen. Very nice item, so has plenty of opportunity to regenerate, maybe get back in this fight. But we'll see. The Armored Chaos Trolls moving in. Marauders also regrouping, getting ready to move back in here. But the Peasant Horsemen actually have been doing a nice job kind of holding these Marauder Horsemen at bay. Haven't really been able to very effectively penetrate on this flank and actually start using their throwing axes on good targets. Right now, Pleasure Guard, like I said, they're being subjected to anti-large bonus. They are kind of winning, but they'll take some damage over time in that engagement, certainly. But is this from the last patch? Very weird Burning Head. It is from the previous, like, hotfix, like the 3.0 point whatever one. Like, I know they came out with like a very tiny hotfix in the last couple days, but just a skill issue. Yeah, you know what happens. It definitely happens. I certainly didn't overcast a net of Ammontok on the ground in a major tournament once in front of thousands of people when Warhammer happened to be on the front page of Twitch. Definitely not. Nope. That certainly never happened. You imagined it. It's okay. No one remembers. It was probably like 8 years ago. I do love to watch these champions Slaanesh get to work, though. Just this absolute bloody pile that they leave as they slowly are carving through. And yeah, also taking damage over time, but I mean, they've had to, yeah, almost 200 kills already. Haven't necessarily paid for themselves, but still, nice to see them just doing what they can. A little bit of Burning Head action there. 300 Rao. Rome 2 is probably peak 100. Yeah, Rome 2 definitely had a pretty nice heyday for multiplayer, but Warhammer has been awesome over time for sure. And I think, was the World Championship in Warhammer 2 even bigger than this, I want to say? Maybe? I think the prize pool was bigger. I don't know if the number of participants was necessarily bigger, but anyway. The crows delivered a mean headbutt to that Slash champions. uh... I might have misspoke there a little bit, but anyway, yeah, the pleasure guard here, able to get like almost 14,000 damage dealt, but just not, yeah, not a ton of raw value. They were fighting relatively low to mid value stuff, but overall Curio there, yeah, just kind of just ran out of steam a little bit. Rush build rushed in, but the Cathay in defense was a little bit too strong, able to just kind of resist. But that does mean the series is now even 1-1, and have to go to a game 3, so let's go ahead and do this. No. Alright. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the Warhammer World Championship #1 back in Warhammer 2 times was the biggest event of all time in Total War history. So yeah. Yeah. Oh, wow. Look at this color scheme. Is this the Dim Suns? That is a nice, bright greenskins color. Got a Goblin Great Shaman. One of my favorite generic lords for sure. Up on the Spider. Goblins up front. Backed up by some Savage Orc Error Boys. Boar Boys in the back. We've got Ruglets in the center. We've got Mangy Marauders and Death Creepers way over there. Yeah, this is a very, very Orc, very Goblin build. I love it. As for Norska, we've got Horse Wolfric, very interesting choice. We've got a Chimera, immediately going to get hit by that Vindictive Glare, nice to see. Marauder Bearmen up front, yeah. Marauder Bearmen, not to be confused with Marauder Batmen, who are a myth. We've got some Javelins here, we've got some Skin Wolves, and regular Marauders in the back. Fire Sorcerer rocking some Burning Head and Flame Storm, pure AoE damage. Nice. Lucky blue color. I love it. I honestly love the Dim Sun. The Dim Sun's banner, it just in general, is super cool. The color scheme, like the little emblem on it, definitely one of my favorites for sure for the Green Tide. And nice, brave little goblin. It's easy to be brave when you're on a giant spider, though. Shaman rushes in to challenge Wolfric. It's going to be a little 2v1 once the Chimera gets there. But Spider can nope out of that, no problem. Running through the goblins, get this frontline engagement underway. Your Savage Orc Error, what are essentially crossbows, right? Have similar AP to like Empire crossbow units. Big old Orc bows. Should be nice for shooting the Chimera potentially as well, but let's see. Nice Burning Head from the Shaman Sorcerer there. Rips one goblin and just straight routes them. But there's plenty more where that came from. Little Vindictive Glare on the Shaman Sorcerer, and don't even try it as well to increase its cooldowns after that. But yep, now we're going to get some semblance of a frontline engagement underway. Savage Orcs. Oh yeah, looking to charge. Going to get those Skin Wolves on the back foot. Skin Wolves did not get their charge order off. So nice engagement initially there. Broken Tusk Mob also charging the back line. Hitting those Bearmen pretty hard. Wah charging up right now. Ooh, we got the Miststalker's Famir as well. Don't see them too often these days, but it's a Regiment of Renown that does cause terror, which is always nice against the Green Tide. Yeah, the Flame Storm bursts forth, ripping through some Savage Orc Error Boys. It does kind of just park itself on top of them, which is unfortunate for that particular unit, but it's not going to do too much besides this one unit just getting absolutely crushed. Waz also popped. Broken Tusk Mob in the back line, kind of getting eaten up by just getting surrounded by Skin Wolves and whatnot. Did manage to run down some of the Javelins. Chimera's also taken massive damage from range fire so far. But here comes some more boars up and around the flank, nice and fresh. Ready to eat up the Javs in particular. But also, you know, Skin Wolves, Bearmen, whatever gets in their way. Definitely getting the Javs off the field in order to protect the Goblin Great Shaman. It's a nice move for sure. Got more Orc Boar Boys clashing with the Skin Wolves. Not going to be a great engagement necessarily, but yeah, both the single entities follow the Goblin Great Shaman over to this engagement. He's going to juice himself with a little sneaky stab in. Gets a good hit there on the Chimera. Yeah, with them kind of detached, the Skin Wolves also getting low, the Boar Boys are able to prevail and actually move through and start to support this engagement potentially. We do have more Skin Wolves rushing in from the side, having beaten some of the Boars. Miststalkers also pushing the back line, getting on Ruglet's armored orcs, so just big, high-value engagements all across the field right now. But let's keep it close as Wulfric continues to contend with the giant spider. Yeah, man, you're a monster hunter, huh? Aren't you supposed to be hunting the monster, huh? Oh, right in the face. That Wulfric's horse just gets mandibles right in the eye socket. That looked incredibly uncomfortable. Yeah, we'll see. We shall see. Right now, though, Wulfric fighting back. He's got Sword of Torgald active. It has a new imbuement. What's this? Ah, interesting. They must have added this in the last DLC with Sail the Faithless, and I just never noticed, but sorry to pause the action here, but interesting. I didn't realize they added that inevitable end contact effect. That's kind of nice. Not that it matters at all in this particular instance, because there's no healing to be done anyway, but that's something that you can potentially use in a specific way, right? Especially if you're against a lord that has one of those items that, like, automatically heals them once they get super low. Like Tyrion's a great example, right? He has the Phoenix amulet or whatever it's called that, like, gives him a nice burst of healing. Ooh, gets blasted there. But potentially, if you use Sword of Torgald and get that contact effect active at the time the ability goes off, it will just waste it. You know, potentially pretty nice. If it's a one-time use one especially, then it you know, definitely should just not go off. But interesting. Very, very interesting. I didn't realize that they added that. Makes Sword of Torgald marginally more useful. Yeah, I wonder how those console players will be integrated in those tournaments from 40K. That's definitely a good question. I'm assuming that they'll still be able to have access to, like, the lobby browser. I don't know. That's a good question. I should ask Creative Assembly about that. I'm assuming it'll be crossplay, because they've already developed, like, you know, you can play with people who have Warhammer on the Epic Games Store, for example, right? So I'm assuming that they're going to have this a cross-play solution. That would be really sad if all console players were just locked out of tournaments. That would be super, super sad. But yeah. Norska holding on by the skin wolf of their teeth. Right now, leadership not looking great. Looking like the dimmed suns. Yeah. Gonna prevail here, I think. We'll see, perhaps. Yeah, I got most of the units across the field on the run. Famir Miststalkers are gonna kind of rally a little pocket right here, but Rugled's Armored Orcs still online. Miststalkers do have plenty of missile resistance, but so low HP at this point that basically anything sneezing at them will pretty much rout them. Yep, immediately they rout once the boars get near. One more Vindictive Glare doesn't quite finish off Wulfric, but does shatter him. And that'll be army losses. So nicely done, Curio, able to prevail 2-1 on a best-of-3 series. Very exciting games, very fun for sure. I love me some Goblin Great Shaman. Yeah, 3,000 damage value, almost 17,000 damage dealt. Such a strong lord. Love the mount option for him. Makes him such a powerhouse. And the rest of the build does a nice job supporting as well. Orc Air Boys, Ruglet's Armors do a pretty nice job. Savage Boars also good support value and straight damage value across the board. Mangy Marauders, 1,000 damage value on them. Very efficient use. Their armor-piercing ammunition. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. As for Hilden's Norska, put up a very valiant attempt. Definitely, you know, Bearmen, solid frontline infantry against greenskins. They can trade well with basically anything. Skin Wolves also to back them up. Got some really nice value. Like to see the Mistwalkers, even if they didn't necessarily do what they needed to. Fun pick for sure. But, yeah, I think right now for Norska, it might have been more efficient to just go with other things. Hard to say. I think without access to Dreadnought, which I believe is banned for this tournament. I do think this is potentially one of the harder matchups for Norska, just because greenskins are really tough. Got good mobility. They can compete basically in any phase that Norska can compete in. And they just have a little bit more versatility, so it's tough. It's definitely tough. It's a similar situation that you get with, like, Khorne and Chaos Dwarfs, right? Chaos Dwarfs can do most of what Khorne can do, and then more beyond that, right? So it's it makes it a little bit of a tough situation, but certainly winnable by Norska. Not unwinnable by any means. Anyway, let's go on to the next replay. As I load these up, go ahead and grab a bit more hydration. We're going to be jumping into Group 3 this time with a race versus Form, so be sure to keep it right here. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Okay, let's get to it. Oh. There we go. Okay. All right. Go to series, yes. Yes. Yep, race versus. Let's go ahead and roll it up. Thank you, Medieval 2 Total War soundtrack. All hyped for Medieval 3. Turin's best player of all time? I don't know that I would say that. Turin's definitely biggest caster. He's been lifeblood of the multiplayer community. He's alive. Yeah, I mean he's a great player, but who would be the best of all time? It's hard to say, really. You could maybe look at it based on like certain eras, honestly. That's how a lot of like sports end up having to kind of be thought about, because it's the different eras are very different in many ways. But today, the era of Settra is upon us. We've got him, we've got Chosen of the Gods, Ushabti, Great Bows, we've got some melee Ushabti, Necro Sphinx, Skeleton Warrior front line with some Nehekar Horsemen out on the flanks. Yeah, Skeleton Spearman in the back. We got Caradran plus an Arcane Phoenix plus Alariel this time. So instead of triple Phoenix character, we get Alariel just on a lowly, mundane Giant Hawk. Or a Great Eagle, rather. Great Eagle, yes. We've got some Ship's Company as well. Archers to back them up, some Spearmen, some Illyrian Reavers. Nice and cheap through the main body of the army, since so much of the value is in these three fancy birds here. Let's see. Yeah, Jim King's gonna pull back just a little bit here, try and reassess. what they can do. Shabti looking very, very stylish out in the sun of the Badlands here. What are we? Not quite Pillar of Bone, but relatively close. Somewhere in the south. But anyway, ooh, nice aggressive Phoenix play. What's he gonna do? Is he gonna drop some cone? Yes. Flaming Phoenix species. Very important. Dropped on a lowly Skeleton Spear unit, just to get the fun started. Balanced Torquelator are going to come in range, and the archers in general are going to try and focus fire on the Chosen of the Gods, Ushabti Great Bows. A little bit of weakness to fire damage, but the armor is pretty good, honestly, especially out at their max range. Elven accuracy is a thing for sure, and the Ushabti aren't going to want to stand and take this for too long, but for a few volleys, it's no problem. As the ship's company get into combat here with the skeletons. It's going to be Ushabti Day, and that will mean that the Tomb Kings are going to decisively win this front line, unless the Phoenix squad has something to say about it. Arcane Phoenix and the Special Phoenix of Caradhran, plus Galariel all jumping in to pursue Cetra as he jumps into this other engagement here. But yeah, ship's company just absolutely getting brutalized all across the field. And that does mean that the Ushabti will be basically free to follow up into the second line and run down these archers with basically nothing to stop them. The Hekara Horseman will link Incantation of Protection. Incantation of Vengeance helps them win out against the Illyrian Reavers. So again, that mobility can help them collapse these archers' front line. But despite the success there, the balance power is showing a little bit against the Tomb Kings, if anything. That first Realm of Souls has popped, and now the others getting ready. We'll see. But yeah, Sphinx of Usek charging in, procking a nice terror route on the archers. Archers with light armor even. Wow, extra melee defense and armor obviously that comes from that. Yeah, the Chosen of the Gods though did get pretty well savaged. Caradhran in the back trying to finish them off, applying that Frostfire contact effect. And the Ushabti pursuing. Archers, spearmen, all broken. Where will Alariel and the Arcane Phoenix land? Are they going to try and go for a snipe on Cetra? Does appear to be the case. Alariel it's curious having this much healing. I mean, I guess I don't necessarily want to be relying on the Phoenixes to heal themselves too much, but they do have that self-heal ability, right? Does Caradhran also have the Phoenix Rebirth? No, he does get Mark of Assyrian, though, which is a very strong direct damage aura that is enabled if he's grounded and has taken a bunch of HP, so maybe you actually want him to take damage here. No, he doesn't have the Phoenix Rebirth, so okay, maybe you want the healing for him specifically, but just kind of odd to take Alariel for that, and not, like, she doesn't have banishment or anything else. There's no other way to contribute to the battle necessarily. I have a conspiracy theory that there's something wrong with Illyrian Reaver's animations. Yeah, I've seen them do some stuff. They can potentially win. They don't have the best animation for that, but oh man, once the Sphinx of Usek gets here to pair up with Cetra, they just absolutely maul Alariel. And here comes Caradhran. He does have anti-large. Got his Phoenix Blade active, so he's taken some big chunks out of the Necro Sphinx here. Not even the Sphinx of Usek, so it doesn't have any fire resistance innately. But Flammable plus Frostfire means it's taken a lot of extra damage. Not great. There's the healing from Alariel as well, so suddenly things turn around in a big hurry against the Tomb King's constructs, and that could be the game right there, honestly. Like, despite the success of the Ushabti, if the leadership of the Tomb Kings goes down, they're going to have a really hard time getting through the rest of the Phoenixes. So for Cetra and for the Sphinx of Usek, they need to fight with Ushabti's support as much as possible. Even if the Ushabtis aren't doing a crazy amount of damage here, it's just some big high-mass bodies to kind of muck things up. They'll eat some of the attack animations from the Phoenixes, and they will do some damage, certainly. So, yeah, fight with that Ushabti support, and let's see if that can yield some success for these Tomb King single entities. We are going to fast forward a little bit, as a lot of the infantry is getting worn down. It's mostly going to come down to the single entities, of course. Well, better stay close to that Ushabti support. Realm of Souls popping once more. Perhaps a summoned Ushabti could lock one of these guys in jail, but more Flaming Phoenix species from the Arcane Phoenix. Not going to do much to the Ushabti, but it's something. Lariel moves in, fully healed now. And let's see, single entity fight underway once more. The Ushabti are kind of supporting. It looks like they actually get some hits on Lariel, blocking her in. Other Ushabti moving in column formation. Oh yeah, getting their dual blades out, ready to charge in. Will it be enough? Yeah, both Sphinxes still have a decent amount of health left. Lariel takes a couple of really big hits right there. The Phoenixes not so much, but the Ushabti are able to kind of screen them, zone them out pretty effectively. Bad at all. Now. Let's see here. Hopefully, how's the stream quality for you guys? My stream preview is super choppy for the... I don't know if that's just preview showing that way. Like on my OBS preview, it looks completely fine, and my game is running super smooth, but you guys will have to let me know. How's the stream looking for you guys as we get in this big endgame blob fight, which unfortunately the Necro Sphinx is crumbling now and has kind of just run out of steam a little bit here. Not able to sustain this fight long enough, took a little bit too much damage earlier on. But Lariel's getting close to being healing capped. With her going down, that could potentially be an issue, but the Sphinx Busek has continued fighting for some time. I keep calling it that. It's actually not the Sphinx's. Stream is smooth. Okay, perfect. Thank you. I appreciate it. But there's just so many Ushabti to try and grind through here. Wow. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to fast forward for quite some time because so many Ushabti left. A little bit more AoE damage there. A little bit of attempt to get on Cetra. Cetra ain't having none of that smoke. He's going to continue just casting spells here. The Ushabti are getting worn down over time, certainly. Cetra needs to come in and try and make a move. But yeah, just the defense. Melee defense is too high. Caradran himself, only 38 for the Arcane Phoenix, which isn't a ton. But Caradran's got 46. And the Ushabti only have 11 melee attack right now because they're so tired. So, yeah, despite the fact they're good kind of body blockers here, damage output is pretty minimal. That said, Cetra does manage to catch Lariel. Horseman assisting somewhat. Ooh, a rout of Lariel, terror rout there, but at the same time, Cetra also gets hit a few times and starts crumbling. Lariel's going to come back from rout. Cetra also comes back from rout, at least momentarily, until he gets rear attacked by the Phoenix, and then that will immediately send him into crumbling once more. And, yep, with Cetra gone, that'll be the end for the Tomb Kings. Army losses. Maybe. Army losses? Question mark? Yes, army losses. There you go. Wow, what a game. Phoenixes managed to hold out. And, win, technically. Wow, what a game. What a game. Lenorm with his Phoenix box. Not even a box. Phoenix squad here. Caradran and the Arcane Phoenix able to grind it out for the victory. I honestly wasn't sure if they were going to be able to, but yeah, the Ushabti, just the output so low there in the late stage with that low melee attack from exhaustion, and the fact that their base melee attack is just not great. Really makes you wish for an Ushabti great weapon, though, doesn't it? And yeah, Searcher himself also some pretty good value, but ultimately just not enough for Race to pull out the victory. But let's see if he can get back in this game too. Where Race now switches to the High Elves, and Lenorm switches to the Tomb Kings. So they basically just flip-flop factions. And that will be just fine. We're going to see Ark in the Black with double Necro Sphinx. Chosen the Gods, bunch of skeletons, couple of horsemen, only a single regular Ushabti. And we've got Ship's Company, we've got a Bolt Thrower, very interesting. Bunch of archers. Illyrian Reavers. Excuse me. So I guess we'll see your theory today. We'll test it. See if they actually do anything. Fireball, yeah, Sorceress of Fire. I mean Archmage of Fire, not a Sorceress. But Fireball moves in, blows up a single unit model. Hey, no, did it even kill a single unit model? Nope, just HP damage. But did a pretty good amount of HP damage to a single unit model, maybe two. The more models you can pick off the earlier on, the better. Basically, for Chosen the Gods, right? Since each model that dies is less ammunition, it's less killing power over time. Ooh. Oh, were those not all archers? Indeed, Sisters of Avalorn mixed in here. Yeah, with the Talons of Torquelada for the extra flammable. So, trying to capitalize on the Tomb King's weakness to fire in a different way. Rather than going Phoenix, we're going Flaming Archers, which, yeah, already Arc in the Black gets hit there a couple of times. Yeah, Sisters of Avalorn, of course, have decent melee stats. 50 melee defense with martial prowess active. Definitely not bad. Not a lot of armor, but they shouldn't need to fear like skeletons too much. Nekara horsemen do have enough charge and attack that they're a little bit scary, but not as scary as like a proper heavy cavalry unit. Sisters of Avalorn making their presence felt a little bit already. Some bow shots going into various targets. Ushabti, Chosen the Gods look like they're firing on this unit of Sisters of Avalorn, but really not the best contact so far. Let's see here, yeah. Bolts being thrown. Oh man, this is when it starts to matter. That elven accuracy, that flammable debuff from the Talons of Torquelada, a little fireball as well for extra weakness to fire from the Kindle Flame proc. Yes, yes. That Necrosphinx, almost 50% HP down already. Yeah, raced here, calling Lenorm's bluff and having what seems to be a really nice counter build for exactly what he brought. But certainly still has to execute it. Little Spirit Leech there on the Archmage of Fire. She doesn't have a ton of HP, so there's not too many of those that can go off before she's going to be done. But a nasty Burning Head in that front line. Just absolutely crispies two skeletons. And that's, yeah, helps to clear out a bunch of that chaff. Helps free up units to then detach and help protect against some of these constructs and so forth. The lasers of the Sisters of Avalorn. Really, really just not relenting. I mean, one Necrosphinx already down. The other Necrosphinx only a matter of seconds before it also disappears from this plane of existence. Excellent. Oh yeah, here we go. Little Liber Mortis, giving some physical resistance. The Ushabti and the skeletons as they fight, but the Sphinxes, I mean, that was a lot of the power of this build, was in those two Sphinxes, and they got absolutely lit up by Sisters of Avalorn. Likewise, oh yeah, you see the attack animations of the Reavers? Apparently when they're surrounding a single entity, they don't have any problem doing them. I would imagine this Reaver actually got probably paid for itself. Yeah, it will pay for itself by the end of the battle, just from smacking Arcan in a circle. But, not bad. Yeah, Reavers, I mean, they're a little bit expensive for what they give you. Like, Blade Riders and Dark Riders are much more cost-effective just because they're cheaper, but Archmage had to run out of that fight. Reavers also, leadership getting a little low. And maybe they don't pay for themselves just from circle beating Arcan. I mean, he does have 90 armor, to be fair. But, yeah, they're just low-tier light cavalry. You don't expect a ton from them, but if they can run down some skirmishers, they can charge some artillery, screen your lines, that's really all you need from them, to be honest. But I need Rider Bro on it. Big Beaver enjoyer. He might actually agree with you. They're not fantastic. But what's this? What's this? The Fireborn? Have they been forgotten in the woods this entire time? Where did the Fireborn come from? I'm so confused. Where have these guys been this entire game? Raced. Did you have them in tactical reserve? Did you have them in tactical? Did you forget to use them up until this point in the battle? Wow. The Fireborn appear from, seemingly from Domination Reserve. And just... That's the game. Wow. Okay. Yes. Tactical reserve. Oh boy, yeah, Race was able to clean up that one relatively easy on the power of the triple Sisters of Avalorn. Plus, Talons of Torquelada are basically like a force multiplier for them. Not nearly expensive, but still expensive enough. And yeah, definitely boost them. Helms OP, please nerf Silver Helms. Oh yeah, Silver Helms are definitely the problem, 100%. Bolt Thrower also pays for itself. Nice, just kind of chip value there, going after high value targets. There were certainly some high-value targets from Lenorm. Unfortunately, none of them really did anything. I mean, yeah, Chosen the Gods Ushabti to do a little bit. What's weird is that if he would have just gone with like a full Ushabti rush, like what Race did to him, he probably does a lot better. I don't know if he wins necessarily. Sisters are going to be a bit of a problem, but you could mow through the front line a little bit quicker and get the Ushabti into the second line to get on the Sisters. Maybe it works out a little bit better. But yeah, that's a game for sure. Let's go on to game 3 of this series, as Race was able to even things up. And what would you know, we got another Dark Elf Mirror. That's right, we had one of these earlier in the show, but don't click away. I swear it'll be interesting. Certainly just from the builds. I mean, we've got Witch Elves and Cold One Knights galore on both sides. Then it seems like probably a different lore of magic. And one of them took like a Dread Knight. Super interesting. Yeah, we've got beasts on one side and shadows on the other side. The beasts backed up by the Crows of Cain, so that'll make it easy to tell them apart, at least until they rout. Alright, it's a little bit of Flock of Doom early on. Flying Supreme Sorceress can cackle and wander about. There isn't actually any response to her, so she is fully free to just cast whatever her heart desires. But oh yes, I love it when two players immediately just honorably run at each other and kill each other. It's very nice. What is happening? You see the Witch Elves with the red hair are upset with the Witch Elves with the blue hair, and thus they must murder each other. Man, those Witch Elves just kill each other so fast. Oh, it's so brutal. The murderous prowess is already kicking off. We're 1 minute into this battle. Oh, that's crazy. It does seem like blue just smashed that engagement on their left side. Yes, on the red's right, lost pretty hard. Red left, though, it seems to be winning. The Crows of Cain jump in with a Beast Caster, Flock of Doom, absolutely devastating. So both players just winning one side of the field pretty decisively, which means we can already move to a second engagement after only less than 2 minutes of battle. Yeah, they are speedrunning this battle, 100%. This is... I mean, games sometimes go fast, but I think this is next level. Yeah, Cold One Knights, Witch Elves jumping in here, jumping in there. We're going to see a little Shadow Cast. What is this? Occam's Mind Razor. Super interesting. Trying to bypass the physical resistance of Witch Elves, except there aren't actually any Witch Elves here. But they still do just get extra weapon strength, so like up to 60 weapon strength for the Cold One Knights. Yeah, we got the Dread Knights also completely healthy still, so blue team is actually in really good position so far. Red team's not out of this by any means, but they have taken a little bit more damage, but another devastating, oh man, that Flock of Doom, wow, just wow, so much value. What is that, like 5 units? 2 of them over 1,000 value. Really, really nice Flock of Doom there. Will it be enough to win out that engagement? I don't think so, but certainly it's making it less of a painful loss. Parents of Cain also teaming with some Dark Riders, trying to chase some routing units off. They're able to get some routing units here and here. Well, that Witch Elf came back. It looks like might actually win out that fight. So we'll see. It's possible that this kind of blob is low enough that the Flock of Doom can really just finish things here, especially since the caster can literally just fly around and cast with impunity while being at 0 risk. But let's see if the blue units spread out, it'll be better for them, but then also they will have a little bit of a hard time supporting each other. But Witch Elves murdering each other there. Cold One Knights getting out into space. Let's see where the Crows of Cain jump down. want to avoid Witch Elves if at all possible and just go after the Polar Knights, but nice Flock of Doom there. Once again, hits a bunch of units. Was not overcast. Wasn't quite enough to break everything, but it did break a couple of units at least. Yeah, this unit of Cold One Knights murders their counterpart. So much murder. It is very, very Dark Elf. Very Traders coded, honestly. If any of you guys are Traders fans out there, me and my wife love watching. But I could see like a Traders parody with Dark Elves, honestly. But I think that's just like everyday Dark Elf society, if I'm not mistaken. Bloody betrayals and murder. Okay, looks like this might actually go on for some time, so we'll fast forward now as the blue team is going to defend the home objective. Gonna get the Dread Knights in range. Yeah, in range, but not in range to get Flock of Doomed, right? That's the whole idea here. But thankfully this is Conquest, so we can see something like this and just fast forward through it. But yeah, Crows of Canes jump down. They get a pretty good engagement, actually, but nope, looks like Army Loss is going to kick in. I don't know, maybe they were in the air for too long. But Lenorm loses, and Raced able to prevail on that Dark Elf mirror. Yeah, crazy, crazy one, for sure. Wild finish. But Raced is able to win the series. So Witch Elves, all, I would imagine, on both sides, just absolutely form, yep. And likewise, I mean, what is there to really talk about in terms of damage values here? The armies basically murdered each other. Just one murdered slightly better. So there you go. Not a lot else to say. Yeah, let's go ahead and do another series. But real quick, drink time once more. I'll be right back. All right, next we're going to jump into Torreson versus Federico. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Yeah, Kane really just wants you to kill as an elf. It's true. Now we've got a new series, and it is Empire versus Tomb Kings. The Empire of old versus the Empire of somewhat new. Cetra the Imperishable leading the way. We've got Sepulchral Stalkers, backed up by Necropolis Knights. A couple of Nekara Horsemen, a single Carrion up in the sky. Skeleton Warriors and Spears. Yeah, Chosen the Gods with Shopty Greatbows. As for the Empire, more Pistoliers. Yay, somebody must have told him I'd be watching. Probably not, but a couple of Pistoliers, one on each flank. Empire Knights as well. We've got some Free Company mixed in. Love me some Free Company. I think they're very underrated also. Flagellants. We've got some Huntsmen, Fire Sorcerer, Marcus Wolfheart, Empire Knights. So, not a ton of armor piercing. Good amount of anti-large, but yeah, maybe a little bit lacking in AP against a faction which definitely has some potent armored units. But I guess it's kind of a mind game, right? Like, most people would not bring a lot of big armored single entities against the Empire, so maybe you don't actually need to kill them. A little fireball there. Saw before, it doesn't actually kill a unit model, but Mark's bow also going to poke in at long range. Get the best contact out at max range, but the Flagellants are a super interesting choice. I'm not a big fan of Flagellants. Their defensive stats are just so poor. I mean, they are unbreakable, obviously, and they'll cut through skeletons, no problem. But even against skeletons, they'll take damage because their defensive stats are just so bad. They don't have any physical resistance, 12 melee defense only, and 0 armor. So, yeah, they'll get pounded by basically anything in the game. But Cetra comes forward, also going to take a few arrows. At least the Flagellants have a decent charge bonus, which they will not take advantage of in that particular engagement because they did not get the charge off there. But Tomb King's just sitting back for the time being. Huntsmen come forward. They're going to start to unleash their storm of arrows. Yeah, 4 Huntsmen actually with some free company. Quite a bit of ranged firepower, but not a bit armor piercing. Not a lot of armor sundering either. Like, there's no Balthazar to cast like an Overcast Plague of Rust or something to really make those units beast. But a little Marcus net going to be used here on Cetra. A little Burning Head in the front line as well. Cuts through an already wounded skeleton. Flagellants are then going to get charged by the Necropolis Knights. And unfortunately, there's not really a lot to stop the Necropolis Knights. I mean, they can kind of just run forward and start killing skirmishers here. Even though they are Necropolis Knight halberds, they're not necessarily directly meant for that. They can still do it just fine. Yeah, I mean, they're still big, heavy, monstrous cavalry against, like, archers, so... Let's see, though. Empire Knights are one of the few things they do have that can at least delay the Sepulchral, or the Necropolis Knights for some time. Little countercharge on in there. Doing the halberds will start to tell, but Cetra also getting bogged down in the Knights. Empire having to fight a little bit of a kite game at this point, but ahead on the balance of power. At least for the time being. Flagellants both somehow survived that engagement and are still alive, so they can now move through and start to harass whatever else comes close. And actually, Tomb King's kind of running out of steam a little bit here. The Necropolis Knights, because they have such low melee attack, and good bonus versus large, but it took them a while to kill those Empire Knights, and during the process, they did take some Overwatch fire, so that's mainly, you know, what Empire Knights used to be used for. Sometimes you see them actually paying for themselves these days, but they're nice blockers so that your Empire missile units or other units can actually get the damage done. Same thing here. Like the Empire Knights pulling back, just forcing the Necropolis Knights further and further out of position. They're just taking more and more missile damage, losing more and more models over time to the Pistoliers and Marcus and the Free Company. So, not too bad, but also not great. Cetra's still alive on the Sphinx, has tons of health, and is very, very scary. You can kill most of everything that's left on the battlefield individually, as long as it's not all lumped up together. But Chosen the Gods, Ushabti Greatbows get ridden down by Empire Knights out here. Just going to use the summoned Ushabti to try and bail them out. Will it be enough? Hard to say. Pistoliers also fighting Skeleton Horsemen in melee. Is a pretty even engagement, honestly. They both have equally terrible melee stats. Oh, I don't know who will win that, honestly, but... it does make me a little bit sad that Pistoliers don't have slightly better melee stats to make them a little bit more of like a hybrid close-range cavalry. Or even something more comparable like Marauder Horsemen in terms of melee stats. But anyway, Burning Head there. Odd Burning Head goes off for sure. And the Pistoliers... Nice shot from Marcus. Fells another unit model of those Necropolis Knights. So actually, the Empire, other than Cetra, has been able to pull apart this Tomb King's build very, very effectively. This Necropolis Knight over here, down at half HP, still needs to be managed, but the fact that he's been able to kind of manage them all far apart from each other is pretty good. Ooh, that's unfortunate, though. That net did not catch Cetra. He is continuing to take some damage here, and with the exhaustion penalty affecting his armor in particular, that will mean that the Pistoliers and Huntsmen and everything else will get some much better value if they're able to make contact. But right now, a lot of the local skirmishers actually have been damaged pretty badly. These Huntsmen have been routed. Maybe they can come back. But the Necropolis Knights beat back the Empire Horsemen. And meanwhile, body units also still fighting over here. Chosen the Gods of Ushabti Greatbows still hanging on somehow, along with the Flagellants, who are like the handful of them that remain are fighting these skeleton spears and actually doing some damage. Empire Knights also going to land there for a little rear charge, try and finish off Chosen the Gods of Ushabti Greatbows, but Marcus now forced to kind of run the other way. Incantation of Vengeance on lowly Pistoliers. That's definitely a waste of Winds of Magic, considering they're out of ammunition anyway, but that's okay. But Cetra going to move through to try and bully Marcus a little bit here. He does have Knights in range to screen. Choosing not to deploy them at the moment, though, because the Necropolis Knights are also nearby, and there's not any missile troops or anything else to assist with this. I mean, Marcus gets a shot in there. Picks off one of the Necropolis Knights. But let's see, trying to get just as many shots as he can, basically. Yeah, Empire continuing to kite quite nicely. And he's still got 2 reasonably healthy unit of Empire Knights. Got to be careful not to just throw them away here. But if he manages to, like, charge one into the side of the Necropolis Knights, maybe a 2v1 cavalry fight situation could be beneficial. But the Necropolis Knights, actually, Marcus has done a lot of damage to them just over the past little pursuit situation there. But one more net from Marcus does hit everything. That shot was a big old swing and a miss, though, and the counter charge is not there necessarily to capitalize. But Skeleton Spears getting finished off there. Empire player very methodically trying to get rid of as many support units as possible. He might not have enough ammunition, though, to finish off Cetra in the late game. Going to be a danger as Marcus is getting quite low. And he's the only thing that has any ammunition left, really. I mean, there's a couple of tattered pistoliers here, but they're not going to do much. Cetra charges in once more. Pistoliers out of ammunition, going to be used to screen. Fire Knights also continue to charge down what remains of the Skeleton Spears. Yeah, the Skeleton Spears, I mean, the Empire Knights with Empire Spears should be able to beat the Necropolis Knights no problem. So I think Marcus really should save all of his ammunition for Cetra at this point. He only has 8 more shots. So, yep, looks like he switched targets there. Even with those 8 more shots, though, it's going to be really hard to kill Cetra in the late game. Oh, he actually puts another shot into the Necropolis Knights. Okay. Yeah, let's fast forward a little bit through this endgame skirmish as Marcus is going to use the rest of his ammunition actually on the Necropolis Knights. I guess just hoping that, like, with the mage, they can maybe 2v1 Cetra in melee. But, yeah, the Skeleton Spears managed to hold out. What happened to the Empire Knights? They're all just kind of chilling right now, getting their vigor refreshed, perhaps. Trying to catch out those Necropolis Knights. No, actually just kind of throws away both the Empire Knights. They end up really not doing much, dying to magic and everything else, and that leads to army losses and a victory for the Tomb Kings. Wow, Torsen managing to hold that one together. I thought maybe he was done for, but Cetra being so healthy, like Marcus having to use up so much of his ammunition, clearing out the Necropolis Knights, who got some nice value, didn't fully pay for themselves, but just soaking so much of Marcus's damage ended up being pretty good in and of itself. And then, yeah, ultimately, the Empire Army just wasn't able to shut down what the Tomb Kings had going on fast enough to be able to turn around and then focus on high-value targets. Overall, though, pretty good build. I mean, a lot of stuff is going to end up paying for itself here. Decently cost-effective across the board in a lot of circumstances, but just not quite enough to see victory. But regardless, let's go ahead and get through to the next replay. See if Federico can get back series and even things up, or if perhaps Torsen can take the sweep. We're going to do a high elf mirror this time. All the elf mirrors today, just this time it's more noble rather than sinister. Oh yeah, it's almost time for a big old stretch. Might even take a nap after this, honestly. We'll see. Definitely some food, too. Not in that order, though. Anyway, yeah, interesting to see the variance in builds here. We do have Noble with Alariel, Caradran up in the air, 2 Lion Chariots, the Ships Company ROR, and some regular Ships Company. On the opposite side, Caradran's on a horse with an Archmage of High Magic. We've got a bunch of Sea Guards. Got a bunch of archers, some Sisters of Avalorn mixed in there as well, Warline beast units. But yeah, the archer pick, super interesting here. Going with the heavy firepower. Sisters of Avalorn could potentially make nasty work out of these single entities. But let's see, Lion Chariots are going to charge in. They are charging into anti-large units with charged defense, so it's not going to do a ton initially, but wow, the Lions come out here and just eat the Ships Company, so, I mean, yeah, Torsen might as well have not even brought infantry here, to be honest. I guess he needed something to fulfill the minimum model count, but yeah, even the Regiment of Renown Ships Company just getting absolutely smashed right now. breath attack doesn't do really anything, and the Tempest catches the dragon. We're going to see basically like a snare effect where it just gets pelted by arrows, perhaps. No, the focus fire not super efficient yet, but there it is. Oh yeah, nice couple of volleys from the Sisters of Avalorn, Sea Guards, everything else. Really, really looking bad for Torreson already. Yeah, I think his opponent called his bluff pretty well here, but we are going to see some healing to try and sustain this. Little Star of Avalorn on the Star Dragon. Stars on stars. Very classic. Caradran also. It's not a pushover by any means, but just so many archers here, basically completely untouched. And the Star Dragon, even with that healing, has to literally pull out of it. Ends up wasting a ton of the healing as well, as it just sort of sits over the enemy and anything. So not great there from the High Elves' perspective. Lion Chariots continuing to try and do whatever they can. A little bit of healing on them. And I mean, granted, there's some tanky stuff that can still be healed reasonably well. But missile resistance of the Lion Chariots only goes so far when they're being focused by so many units, especially with that Elven accuracy. Yeah, 30% missile resistance, plus the 10% from a Lariel being nearby. Pretty good. Not good enough. Yeah, they are getting torn to shreds in a big hurry. Chips Company is an odd choice in such numbers. Yeah, one side lacks range. Yeah, I think he really was just trying to go based off of the monsters, but it's tough, you know, it's tough to keep those monsters sustained against, like Tempest especially was a really good call here, actually. Fact that you can deal damage and severely slow units in the air, and especially given that High Elves, you know, all their big strong monsters are in the air basically, right, other than the elemental, I guess, which you should not take here because Sisters of Avalorn also exists. But yeah, I think basically the meta in this mirror is probably just like archer stack with stuff, I don't know, like what we see here. I just think the big expensive monsters are a little bit too expensive and a little bit too big, both of which are somewhat liabilities here. Yeah, more regrowth being dumped into, or just a regular Earthblood. Yeah, not super efficient being dumped into the Star Dragon there. Caradran and the Noble fighting Caradran, doing a decent job of it, but ultimately not necessarily the win condition, right? I mean, keeping Caradran alive is definitely the win condition for one side, but even if this Horse Caradran goes down, it's not going to be the end of the world for the grounded High Elf forces. And yep, here comes another Tempest. Will this be enough to finish off the Star Dragon along with the arrows of these archers? Probably. It's going down below 1,000 HP now, even with the Earthblood. Whoop, like bouncing right around 1,000. The Earthblood wears off, and the Tempest keeps going. The archers keep shooting. And that's it. Torreson loses that one. And Frederico is able to win the High Elf Mirror pretty decisively, honestly. That's a commanding win for sure on the High Elf Mirror. Nice pick with the War Alliance to kind of countercharge the opponent's front line. Honestly, just really had like a perfect counter build, to be honest, for Torreson here. But that does mean we'll now go to a game 3. So let's go ahead and download that one. All right. Dark Elves versus Slaanesh. Very loreful. Very, very friendly. Very fun. We've got Dakala. We've got a Sorcerer of Shadows and Steercar. Along with basically what amounts to a bunch of chaff. A couple of Demonettes. And then, yeah, a unit of Leisure Seekers, which are exceptionally strong if used well, but very much glass cannon. As for the Dark Elves here, we've got Lokir Fellheart leading the way. Super interesting choice. Sorceress of Death. Another Bloodrack Shrine. That's the second time I've seen Bloodrack Shrine, which I haven't seen in multiple years, so that's interesting. We've got a Charybdis here. We've got Bleak Swords. Blades of the Blood Queen right in the center with some Blackguard. Interesting. So a couple of elite infantry here. Odd build for sure. I am somewhat flabbergasted by this build. I'm not really sure what's going on, but there you go. Steer car. Hot and ready. Just like pepperoni pizza is going to run on in and see what he can do. Nope. Lokier countercharges him straight on the ground. Charybdis attempts to follow up. A Steer car wants none of that big heavy smoke, so he's going to try and nope out, but actually gets body blocked by his own Demonettes. Leads to him eating another charge animation from Lokier, who popped his Duelist blades, but also needs to be careful. Oh no! Oh, that's a nasty Penumbral Pendulum. Absolutely nasty Penumbral Pendulum, as the Blades of the Blood Queen and the Blackheart are just all piled up on top of each other, way over blobbed. Definitely going to get punished for that, but will Dakala also get punished? He's getting hit pretty hard right now. Lokier and the Charybdis both with some pretty good contact there, as she is forced to pull back and away. Steer car, Pleasure Seekers, Sorcerer all kind of pulling back, reassessing, getting ready to charge in, find the next angle. And yeah, Lokier presents his back temporarily, which provides a tempting target. Slaanesh does rush on in, and Lokier is caught in a pretty good surround here, but let's see. Magic for Doom and Darkness is the magic being cast by the Death Sorcerer here. That is actually going to force the Demonettes into crumbling, so a bunch of free damage basically from that. Lokier also completely bullying Dakala right now, just has way more HP and excellent stats to be able to actually fight this, but 2v1, 3v1 even with the Sorcerer, really not what he wants. So going to have to screen out and get the Charybdis back in the fight. Will this be a replay where the Charybdis does something? That would be interesting. Haven't seen that in a long time. But Lokier's taking quite a bit of damage. He can regenerate somewhat while in melee, though he does have to continue fighting in melee to be able to do that, right, with the Helm of the Kraken. But nice breath attack there on Demonettes, all blobbed up. Gets really good damage on them. Now, ooh, yeah, don't charge in the middle of the Pleasure Seekers with Steer car and Dakala lurking nearby. Wise to feint out of that charge. But the Blades of the Blood Queen, one of my old favorite RORs, Warhammer 2 days, actually just cleans house here. I mean, there's not really anything directly to oppose them. Likewise, the Bloodrack Shrine, it's gotten some good value in and of itself. Nothing crazy, only about 400 value, but the debuffs and buffs here is actually, I'd imagine, what Torsen brought it for. -7 melee defense, -7 melee attack, or sorry, +7 melee attack is basically like a +14% hit chance on everything nearby, which is really, really nice to have, especially when Slaanesh units already don't have very good defensive stats, except for sometimes they have good melee defense. You get rid of that, then they're even squishier and potentially more vulnerable. So yeah, we were poo-pooing the Bloodrack Shrine earlier in that double wagon build, but this one from Torsen, actually the Charybdis with the wagon, this time swapping out Helibron for a slightly more sensible pick, Lokier. Although Lokier still, as a non-caster lord for Dark Elves, is somewhat unusual. Like the Supreme Sorceress or Marathi are basically the meta picks, right? So you get your caster and lord all in one. You don't see like Lokier or the Karth or those guys nearly as often, but Lokier with his own self-healing is pretty independent. Like, you can kind of take whatever magic you want with him. And quite a good duelist, a lot of HP, and is just to actually out-duel Dakala here. Wow, it's a big brain play, honestly. You take the duelist because you need a duelist. Like, you need someone who can actually fight in these single entity fights and not just get completely wrecked. And Slaanesh, their characters are quite scary, so yeah, might as well take someone who can stand up to a beating, heal himself a little bit, and especially with that dreaded duelist, but even without Helm of the Kraken, yeah, while that's active, I guess it is healing him, giving us some melee defense as well. But 46 melee defense base for a big flying monster like this is pretty solid. And of course, the Bloodrack Shrine continuing to blast away. Almost 1,000 damage value there, plus the support value, especially on these high value infantry. Really, really nice. Well, big round of applause for me for Torsen, this replay. Definitely a fun one for sure. Unusual build, but seemingly very effective and actually like pretty well thought out. You know, you're not really going to face a lot of ranged damage here. The infantry is a little bit vulnerable to just being outmaneuvered straight up, but you have enough other tools to kind of force engagements, like the Bloodrack Shrine here, Ribdis. Just a gaggle of unusual units, but they help win what is potentially a tough matchup. I appreciate the tip, Prime. I'll have to go check him out. Even if I don't end up casting him, I think I actually am basically done for the stream for today, but I am going to record a few more videos from the group games. Whoops, I forgot to go over the damage values there. Anyway, it was awesome. I love this build from Torsen. Yeah, very, very fun, very effective. And I actually do think that's it for me today. So I'll be continuing to publish some group games and videos. I'm also going to do some non-Warhammer Championship videos this upcoming week, hopefully. And then, yeah, once the playoffs are underway, we will definitely get to those. I did want to show you guys real quick on Challenge. Go to let's see. Discord. Go to playoff stage. I wanted to show you guys everyone who made it through to the playoff stage. You know, congratulations and thanks to everyone who joined as a participant. All of you, you know, great games. I know it's not easy to put yourself out there in a big tournament, but thank you for being brave and testing yourself and providing us with some excellent entertainment. And so here is who has gone on to the playoff stage. So you'll see Torsen, who we just saw there, versus Berserk. We've got Race versus Flower, Incars versus Drugash, Navigator versus Black, Snail Cream versus Anticity, Codex versus Bird, Caradoc versus, what did we say this was? I forget. I just looked this Chinese name up just to go. Anyway, Roflon versus Kokino, Sir Tarquin, not played. I'm not sure if they just didn't put a person in there yet, or if they're still waiting on a couple more games to be played exactly. But yeah, Phoenix King versus the Wood, TGO versus Sipa, Sands versus Miravoy, Keen versus Azek, Doku versus Strat Game, Adler versus Craveling, and Blood Penguin versus Attack Speed Enjoyer. So, a lot of great players, a lot of really excellent players made it through. Honestly, I'm surprised at some of the players that did make it through as well, you know. Like Alfredinho is one who's a really excellent player. Surprised that he didn't get through. Same thing, him and Zephos were both really seemed to be playing really well in the games that I watched, but maybe they just had some troubles in the later rounds that I didn't get to see. But regardless, really excellent players here. Really, really excited for this playoff get underway. So if you are also excited, be sure to stay tuned, subscribe, and one more time, if you guys have not checked it out and you have the means to do so, the prize pool for this tournament is 100% crowd-funded. There is a link which I am posting in the chat now, which will take you to a pool on PayPal, where any money that is donated there will go straight to the prize pool. So, like, I'm going to be putting some of my own money in there when I get paid next week. And yeah, for me, it's a way to give my appreciation to all the great players who are out there competing, sending me replays, enabling me to do what I do on my channel. Without you guys, I could not be here. So thank you all so much for participating. Good luck to those who have gone on to the next round. Best of luck in your games. Hopefully you prevail. And thank you all so much for watching today. It's been an absolute incredible crowd. So thank you very much. And those of you guys watching after the fact as well, if you've made it this far, thank you